out.
He's locked in.
Yeah, check it. Hot damn black America again. Think of Sandra Bland as I'm staring in the wind. The color of my skin, they comparing it to sin. The darker it gets, the less fairer it has been. The hate made, I inherited from them. But I ain't gonna point the finger. We got anointed singers like Nina, Marvin, Billy, Stevie. Need to hear them songs. Sometimes to believe me, who freed me? Lincoln a Cadillac, drinking a battle raps. Or is it Godspeed that we travel at? Endangered in our own habitats. Them guns and dope, man. Y'all can have it back. As a matter of fact, we them lab rats. You built the projects for, now you want your hood back. I guess if you could rap, you would express it too. That PTSD, we need professionals. You know what pressure do. It makes the pipes bust from schools to prison, y'all. They trying to pipe us to your political parties and fight us instead of making voting laws to spite us. You know, we from a family of fighters, fought in your wars and our wars. You put a nigga in Star Wars, maybe you need two. And then maybe then we'll believe you. See black people in the future. We wasn't shipped here to rob and shoot ya. We hold these truths to be self-evident. All men and women are created equal, including black Americans. Yeah, that's black America again. I'm gonna do another verse for me. Check it out. From the same thing. Check it out. Keep that beat roll. Yo, we go. Here we go. Here we go again. Trayvon will never get to be an older man. Black children, they childhood stole from them. Robbed of our names and our language. Stole again. Who stole the soul from black folk? Same man that stole the land from cheap black smoke and made the whip crackle on our back slow. Made us go through the back door and raffle black bodies on the slave blocks. Now we slave to the blocks, cause on them we spray shots. Leaving our own to lay in a box. Black mother stomach staying or not. We kill each other more than the cops. I wish the hating would stop. We are at war and a battle with us. I know that black lives matter. Do they matter to us? These are the things we gotta discuss. The new plantation, mass incarceration. Instead of educate, they rather convict the kids. As dirty as the water in Flint the system is. Is it a felony? Or a misdemeanor? Maria Sharapova making more than Serena. It took Viola Davis to say this. The roles of the help and the gangsters is really all they gave us. We need Avas, Ta-Nehisi's and Cory Bookers. The salt of the earth to get us off of sugar and greasy foods. I don't believe the news or radio stereotypes we refuse. Brainwashed in the psycho to spin. We write our own story, Black America again.
All right, what is good, my people? We are live back again with another live broadcast. Man, shouts out to all of y'all, Erica, Raw, Shanique, Cassidra, all my sisters in the building, you know what I'm saying? So shouts out to y'all, man. I appreciate y'all, you know. And, I'm just doing this, I always do the live afterwards. I'm not going to be on here long today, you know what I'm saying? I don't want this one not going to be one of them super long ones. But, I'm going to give y'all a chance to come on here because I want people to, always want people to prove me wrong, you know what I'm saying? So, give my theories a chance to see if they're wrong, well, not my theories, but if I'm wrong about any of the stuff I'm saying, I want to give you an opportunity, but I also want to say this, and Raw and, all the people in the chat, who contributed to the water crisis thing, I try to email y'all, but I do got an idea about what to do with it because I still got it right now, and the water thing is probably not going to happen that way. I'm going to have to do it another way, especially with the nonprofit way. But I got an idea about where to put the, into like some kind of like educational thing, like some kind of black school that's like getting built. Like they might need like equipment, like, just whatever kind of equipment that a black school may need or whatever. So, we can talk about it. So I want to hear everybody who got something to say about that, and yeah, so I appreciate that. And I'm not going to show what I was going to show. I want to start it off. I'll show that next time, but they probably going to take the live off. So, like I said, man, I'm going to just give y'all a chance to come on here if y'all got any questions, because I think it's interesting. Some people might think it's, yeah, okay, Raw, okay. But yeah, I think all of this stuff is interesting, and we need to understand and know our history and stuff like that. But we don't know enough of our history, like how we fought back all of the time, and we are so quick to discount our ancestors just because of what somebody else say, and their tactics are virtually the same. They just use different language, you know, but their tactics have been the same. They're not that creative. And if we understood history, right, we shouldn't be making mistakes that they made in the 1500s when trusting them with their treaties, because we know how a treaty with them will work. But for some reason, we do all of that. We don't take advantage of what we need to take advantage of. You know what I'm saying? So, all right, like I said, I give people a chance to come on, and just while I do that, I'll just show stuff while I give people a chance. If you want to speak on anything, I was talking about the slave ships. I know people don't agree or think slave ships exist, but I know it's some kind of other motive, coming to that. But it's a big place. You know what I'm saying? They wasn't all going to the same place, right? And most of them went to the Caribbean and places like Brazil and all of that, right? And we are repeating it. You see, they talking about colonizing Africa because they see what's going on in West Africa, right? So they're going to restart this whole process over and over and over again. And we're still here talking about love our enemies and stuff like that. We can teach them to love ourselves. You know what I'm saying? And I know Bakari may not be here right now, and I might not even do it because it's disrespectful, because it's one thing I really want to show, but it's like disrespectful to like our ancestors, but also like their HBCU teachers. But right, we are the only ones that deny that. And the crazy part is, like, Italians, they fighting for Columbus Day, knowing he never stepped foot on this soil. But they're saying that taking down Columbus Day, even though he was, put on trial by his own people for the crimes he was committing, but they still go out there, protest, and say we want Columbus Day back. No one is a damn lie. No one is a lie. But we go out of our way to try to figure out ways to discredit, because the ones that we can prove, we go out of our way to discredit them. And the ones that we can't prove, we just say aren't real in the first place. You know what I'm saying? But there are so many heroes that haven't been discredited because we don't know about enough of our heroes for them to discredit them. You know what I'm saying? That's why I was joking with Bakari, Ida B. Wells might be next, Yo, what up, Bawana? Yep, we're not learning the same tactics that keep happening over and over, So, all right, I guess I'll do it this way, and hopefully it'll work. So I was talking about Fort Mose, you know what I'm saying? And this gonna come back and play another role and stuff, because people know about the Trail of Tears, but it was a Black Trail of Tears where they was marching slaves into the areas to replace those Indians they was sending out. But that's another story, Fort Mose and this historical treasure, you know what I'm saying?
I know.
Yeah, the first free Africans in America lived in the area, and when Spain still ruled.
Hi, my name's Alexa.
Now even the news got ads on it. Like, what the hell is going on here? Everybody gonna profit off us but us, y'all.
Fort Mose became a refuge and home for people fleeing slavery.
This isn't so much a costume as it is period dress.
Historian and reenactor James Bullock is dressed in the garb of Captain Francisco Menendez, famous in Northeast Florida and a key figure for his time.
But I'm dressed in the manner of a soldier in the 1740s.
Menendez was born free in West Africa, brought to America as a...
He was born free in West Africa, right?
Free in West Africa, brought to America as a slave, then escaped from the...
Because that's an interesting thing, because I'll wait if nobody come on about the slave ship thing, about the numbers thing, because that is an interesting part of it, you know what I'm saying? But the Spanish brought him over here, you know what I'm saying? I wonder if he's counted in that number or not, because we're going to have to investigate all of these talking points, because when you really look at the talking points, you can break it down to see how they're literally lying, you know what I'm saying? So you can stop explaining yourself. But, this is for Fort Mose, so,
Carolinas to St. Augustine in 1724. He was one of many who found freedom on the First Coast, thanks to the Spanish-controlled ancient city, and Menendez became leader of the militia.
It is a story that needs to be told, and by everyone and anyone that'll listen.
This is Fort Mose, just north of the city gates to St. Augustine, and this is where those slaves fled to freedom. It was America's first free black settlement with an underground railroad that ran north to south 150 years before Harriet Tubman.
When I saw a reenactment that we did a while back, and it sort of brought tears to my eyes to think about that journey that they took of 377 miles to get to Florida to gain their freedom.
Fort Mose is a place Historical Society President Charles L.
My email is the Forecast Talk Radio. It's in the descriptions right now. The Forecast Talk Radio @gmail.com. All one word. But yeah, you and both you and Shanique, right? You know, this is why it's important. You know, I probably, you know, this is banned where I'm from, but this isn't even, well, I guess it is critical race theory because I'm teaching you about how racist laws, you know what I'm saying? And we can see how they have the effects today, you know, Cassandra was talking about the patty rollers, the police, you know what I'm saying? How they graduated today and they still call it the paddy wagons, you know what I'm saying? Like, but anyway.
Fort Mose is a place Historical Society President Charles Ellis and James Bullock treasure for its historical importance and the effect it can have on the future.
Our country inherited the slave trade that the English gave us. We don't need to punish ourselves over it. We just need to acknowledge it.
I don't know who he talking about. Which country he talking about? Senegal or something?
We don't need to punish ourselves over it. We just need to acknowledge it. And to see how that changed people's lives.
Fort Mose is the birthplace of freedom. The birthplace of freedom. The first free Black American baby was born right here in St.
And there was actually, you know, other Black places in the 1600s and the 1500s, you know what I'm saying? But, you know, I guess they're talking about, well, this was Spanish Florida, so I'm not sure. But, you know, it is a powerful thing, you know. It is a Black settlement that was established, you know, one of the early ones, you know, because we was always continuing. But the difference between today is we don't understand who our friends are and our enemies are. And even then, you know, we've always suffered from they not all bad syndrome. It's not about whether they're good or bad, you know what I'm saying? That's irrelevant. You know, the relevant thing is, you know, you want to maintain your own thing. You know what I'm saying? That's what you want. And, you know, it is what it is.
St. Augustine. Free.
They were forced out of necessity to work together, to need each other, to cooperate, to adapt, and to grow. And that it's always been a diverse society here because that's the way the world was.
And there's so much more to know and appreciate about Fort Mose. You can search out info from the Florida State.
They're still talking about a diverse society and a society where they forced you to be alone and by yourself with your own people. You know what I'm saying? So
Today is a self-guided education tour along the Flight to Freedom Trail.
all right. So, all right, I'll just keep going so I'll go through this because I do want to show kind of one thing, and y'all have to like kind of hold me down with that one. You know, I know I'm probably tripping with this one, but this is another thing that I wanted to show that I came across. You know what I'm saying? I thought was interesting, but this is this brother's story. You know what I'm saying? This is coming out of their mouths themselves. You know, well, their writings and stuff like that. So,
at this place in history, we're in East Poultney with Steve Perkins, the Executive Director of the Vermont Historical Society. Now, Steve, what brings us here this week?
So, Mike, we're going to be talking about Jeffrey Brace. So Jeffrey Brace was an amazing individual who lived a fraught but very fruitful life. He was kidnapped from Africa as a young man, enslaved in Barbados, and then later in Connecticut. He fought in the French and Indian War, then the American Revolution.
and that's the thing that get confused, right? Because even though a lot of people went to the Caribbean, right? a lot of people in America sent people to the Caribbean and then back to America, and then who was sent who here, you know what I'm saying? But we're gonna get into that. That's another thing, you know. And like, you know, I know we want to well, I don't know, I guess they're gonna not let me play this, but
Come to TurboTax.
see, now even the news have to do this. They ain't have no ads on it the whole time, but now it does, you know. But it's whatever. We allow them to like make money off of it, you know what I'm saying? So what can I do?
Man in Vermont and lived long enough to tell his story. He was blind at the time. He entitled it The Blind African Slave, or Memoirs of Boireru Grinch, nicknamed Jeffrey Brace. And the story was told by Brace to a young lawyer in St. Albans. This is an insanely rare book at this point.
Solomon Northup, who a lot of us might have become familiar with about a decade ago from the screen version of his memoir, 12 Years a Slave. This predated Solomon Northup's own autobiography by many decades, actually.
Jeffrey Brace was taken as a teenager, so he remembers his time in Africa. He remembers some of his language that he learned growing up. As far as scholars can tell, based on the book, he probably was taken someplace in the area of modern-day Mali, was sold to a ship's captain named Isaac Mills, and Isaac Mills ended up using him as a soldier sailor, and he fought in the French and Indian War on the British side and ended up joining the American Revolution. And he fought on the side of the ultimate victors, you know, the colonists, and that service resulted in his manumission. And he made his way to Vermont, which was a place where one could get land relatively uninhabited, and he bought a piece of land right here in Poultney. He married when he got here. They had problems here in Poultney over time with neighbors who didn't like having black neighbors, and one of them in particular would tap his maple trees, put cattle on his land, and in his words, even tried to take his children.
For anybody that may be interested in perhaps learning more about Jeffrey Brace beyond what they might encounter in The Blind African Slave, what, if anything, might all of you at the Vermont Historical Society perhaps be able to point to?
Absolutely. So go to the Vermont Historical Society, vermonthistory.org, and our curriculum support site.
So I'm not sure how many people know about Jeffrey Brace, but there's supposed to be a biography about him. And he told about his tale from Africa to Barbados and then to America. You know what I'm saying? You know, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, I had to show these kind of things, you know, just while I give people time to come on, because, you know, look, these is people's accounts, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not sure how you're going to tear this one down. So, you know, I can keep bringing more and stuff like that. But, you know, we'll be here all day with the amount of stuff like that. So, you know, but anyway. Okay, so I do want to show one thing before somebody come on here, though, right? And y'all got to work with me here. You know what I'm saying? This is, it might be just me, but y'all humor me for a minute. You know what I'm saying? Because I do think, like, science is important, right? But one of the most important things about Black scientists is saying that, is being able to be proud to say, I'm a Black scientist, and not saying I'm a scientist and not Black. You know what I'm saying? Because once we start doing that, then, you know, we're giving away our intellectual property. How do you think we help them create all of these things, and we don't create anything for ourselves? You know what I'm saying? And it's important to protect our intellectual properties. But, you know, y'all humor me with this one. You know, I got to play this, you know, so y'all work with me, right? And I hope it's still on the right spot. All right, so no, it's probably not. All right, hold on. Give me a second. Because I want y'all, and those for you who be like, you know, well, race is not real. It's just made up. You know what I'm saying? But I'm going to let a scientist here tell you about, you know what I'm saying, even just some of the basic things about your physical differences.
Every photon of light that strikes your face carries energy. And then they most of them reflect, Others get absorbed. Actually, it depends on how dark your skin is. Skin is very
Right.
dark. It'll absorb most of them. If you have
That's
very
because, you know, photons, they want to be a part of this, baby.
Let me get some.
Let
me get some.
I see where I see where we're landing. We got some good chocolate happening over here.
Yes, just to be more precise about Chuck's excursion there, darker skinned people absorb more sunlight than lighter skinned people, and it's your albedo. It's the percentage of incident energy that you absorb relative to what you reflect. Very important.
The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. Let me break it down and regular. See, this is the problem with scientists, right? You know what I'm saying? Intellectuals, they try to add words. No, you want to break it down to the most basic thing, to where a baby can understand. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice is what he's saying. You know what I'm saying? What happens with the effect when you soak that sun in? You know what I'm saying?
Skin people, and it's your albedo. It's the percentage of incident energy that you absorb relative to what you reflect. Very important calculation for the Earth, because what Earth absorbs drives our climate. Whereas what Earth reflects back to space just goes back to space from the sun. And so glaciers reflect light, cloud tops reflect light, oceans reflect light, that sort of thing.
So for climate change to solve it, we just need to get a bunch of white people in one place.
Just reflect the light to reduce the...
Do us a favor, guys. Sunbathe. Everybody just sunbathe right here.
Reflect out the sun.
Okay.
And it'll probably work too, by the way. Right. So, you know, and with no sunscreen. So, you know, do us that favor, you know what I'm saying, to compensate for the damage you've caused by chopping down trees and got people saying, thank God for Jesus, you know what I'm saying, because I'd rather be praying to a tree. But I'm only playing this because, and this is my man's years ago, you know what I'm saying, when I asked about, because we need Black scientists. This is important, you know what I'm saying? And he scientifically broke it down how, you know, the darker you are, you know what I'm saying, the more you absorb the energy from light, you know what I'm saying? But we don't really understand like what these things are, you know what I'm saying? And how that helps you. And there's just differences. I'm not saying better or worse, but differences, right? If there's a difference, right, there's a difference, right? But anyway. So this is my man's years ago when asked about this.
Because anytime anyone asks me, you know, well, what race are you? And I say, last I checked, I'm the human race. You got another question? And to try to slice and dice people, I just don't find that to be productive. I know how you think of me because I've been stopped by cops. I know how I'm seen in society. But as a living Homo sapien in this world, I think we're the human race, and then move on from there.
I think that
We're the human race. You know what I'm saying? That's what my man says.
I think we're the human race, and then move on from there.
I think that for the lot.
Yo, eyes wide open. What up, man? Yo, it's been like years, bro. What up, man?
For the lot of the human race who are enlightened, identifying as a member of the human race is right on point. But I also think that whenever you consider what's going on currently in America, and you think of police relations in the Black community, that identifying with your categorized race can also be empowering. So for example, you're an astrophysicist. If you, instead of saying, or in addition to saying, I'm a member of the human race, also said, I am Afro-Caribbean, I am biracial, I'm Afro-Caribbean and Puerto Rican, that would also help to uplift many Puerto Ricans who live near Arecibo, or many Afro-Caribbeans who look at the stars.
Radio telescope.
Exactly.
In the islands
and
of Puerto
so
Rico.
that could also be very empowering too. So there is empowerment in saying, I'm a member of the human race, I'm beyond the construct of race, but at the same time, there's also power.
Beyond the construct of race, that because he knows his photons is getting the photons getting sucked in on his skin much more than on his. So I'm not sure.
Or in saying, if you want to talk about the construct of race, here's who I am. I'm Neil deGrasse Tyson, an Afro-Caribbean Puerto Rican astrophysicist.
Yeah. Mic drop on that one.
There you go.
Now he may have actually made him think about that one. He like, you want to uplift black people to get into science, don't we? We want to put satellites in space, do we not? You know what I'm saying? Not only just to have our own, television stations, radio stations, you know what I'm saying, and not get it shut down by somebody else, right? We want to have things that can track things and also things that can protect ourselves, because we're dealing with people that like set a nuclear bomb off in space just to see what would happen. Like, what do you think is going to happen? Like, and you still get fallout from that. But this is what I'm saying, right? We try to escape from that. Even back then, the Kwamu tribe, right? They was like, oh, we want to enslave other black people. We was the noblemen. We should enslave other black people. And they didn't even want to let other black people into their group. And do you know what happened? It led to their destruction, because even though the French and the Swiss and the Danish was not friends, they had their tribal differences. But when they started winning and kicking them out the country, their whiteness kicked in automatically, right? It just automatically kicked in, and they got on code against them. You know what I'm saying? But we still sit here and be like, I'm not black, you know what I'm saying? I'm not this, I'm not that. You know what I mean? Okay, Shanique, device is not connected. I don't be uplifted by him, Buwana. Yeah, all right. So Shanique probably come right back. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? But he's a scientist, you know what I'm saying? We need scientists to uplift. Now, maybe not necessarily him, but we need scientists out here to do the right thing, you know what I'm saying? But and I'm gonna keep an eye out for Shanique. But the only reason why I'm playing this, right, is because lately, you know what I'm saying, this was like probably like a month ago. Now all those white boys who he's of the same race as, you know what I'm saying, even though he just clearly told you, right? You even absorb energy from the sun. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. He told you scientifically, you know what I'm saying, why that is true. You know what I'm saying? But now those same white boys who he's the same race as and all the human races, they mad at him for what he said, talking about the greatness of Africa. You know what I'm saying? And I see a lot of them have videos against him because of what he said right here. You know what I'm saying?
Here.
Okay, please do.
There's a section here on race and color, which is another thing with the variation of what we have in the world. Just a point I want to make. When European anthropologists started running through Africa and started describing what they saw, their urge was to say, everyone in Africa is this thing, and they have dark skin, woolly hair, and that is a thing. And they called it a race, and they called it the Negroes, okay? And this is our attempt to classify into few categories something that might actually in real life be on a spectrum. We know that the
human is a spectrum. What the hell? All right, so we gotta look at humanity as you could be different kinds of humans instead of just a spectrum. Or you could look at it as a spectrum. You have the Neanderthals, you have your Homo sapiens or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Okay. He may have thought about what that young brother was saying and did some more research on this topic. It's not about space here.
Into few categories, something that might actually in real life be on a spectrum. We know that the human species began in Africa. And everybody who populates everywhere else in the world came out of Africa to do that. What that tells you is that the genetic diversity within Africa as the origin of our species is greater than it is between any other two people anywhere else in the world. But because the anthropologists were not thinking genetic diversity, they're thinking skin color. They put them all in one bin. But if you have the most genetic diversity, then in practically every way humans vary, you would find the extreme of that in the African.
My brother Bobby Wright, you right on time. Bakari gonna run from the next thing because I'm gonna run from the next thing. But you right on time, my brother. Shouts out to my brother Bobby Wright. You know what I'm saying? But they mad at him for saying this, and he's saying, I think he's saying that we all come from Africa, and he's going to discount the Denisovan blood and the Neanderthal blood running through other people's veins and stuff like that. And not necessarily because we can see actions, bro. Like we can see actions, but I'm just saying we can look at it on different ways. We saw like, well, let me be quiet before.
Have the most genetic diversity, then in practically every way humans vary, you would find the extreme of that in the African continent. Where would you find the tallest people in the world? Watusi tribe of Africa. How about the shortest people in the world?
Pygmies.
The Pygmies. Not even that far away.
Right.
Geographically. They have the same skin color, so the Europeans said these are one group of people, one race. Where might you find the slowest people in the world? Well, no one looks for them. Where would you find? There's no races to find the slowest people. How about the fastest people?
Yeah, and the slowest people probably in Switzerland or something. I don't know. You know, somewhere, some backwoods in Europe. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. You know, one of them areas that's like a backwoods in Russia somewhere is probably the slowest.
People. Africa. Okay? People of African descent have dominated the long distance as well as the sprint, two completely different physical abilities. Oh, but they're all dark-skinned people. They're all Negroes. Okay? Where would you likely find the dumbest person in the world? Africa.
He might be right. You'll find the smartest in the world because he didn't want to say smartest. Notice he was going straight to dumbest. Where would you find the smartest people in the world? Africa, right? Where would you find the dumbest? Well, we obviously see. I'm gonna say emotional. Instead of saying dumb, I'm gonna say emotional. But it's kind of dumb to keep banging our heads against the wall over and over and not learning our damn lesson. That's the dumb part. So yeah, he might be right about that part.
How about the smartest person in the world? Africa.
How about the Egyptians?
He said that Dinka and South Sudan is a tribe. Well, you know, he's not going to be up on his African history. He's just polishing up now. And he probably going to learn a lot more to deal with those white boys who's trolling him now.
Europeans did not look for people smarter than they were. Okay? And to this day, where they find evidence where that might have been the case, you have people saying aliens did it. Egypt is, of course, in Africa.
Yeah.
A brilliant civilization. Oh my gosh. While Europeans were still either disemboweling heretics or whatever the hell they were doing, I was even before that, thousands of years ago. So my point is, if you don't look for it and you don't find it and you're going to create a map of humans of the world, you're going to put yourself at the top. That's what you're going to do. And you're going to write things.
You go put the human race at the top? Oh, no, wait. Only if it was a black person, we would say, well, I'm going to put the human race at the top. You know what I'm saying? Or then we not including the animals. Like, I mean, I'm not sure where we're going to draw the line at.
Like this. Who do you want to hear from?
Appreciate that, Buwan.
Thomas Jefferson or Francis Galton?
Jefferson.
Good old TJ.
1785. Speaking of the Negroes, comparing them by their faculties of memory.
All right, hold on, y'all. Hey, what's up, Shanique?
Hey, I'm finally able to get in. Had some issues.
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. How you doing?
I'm well. I was watching this video and when you get to Neil deGrasse Tyson, I don't even know what to say about that man. This topic is interesting though, because the truth of the matter is when we talk about race and construct or social construct, there's no denying that it's more than anything related to bloodline than it is about skin color. You can find dark or light people throughout the spectrum when you speak about Black people, from the very palest to the very darkest, and yet we don't have to be the same people. But I don't think they want to talk about that.
Yeah, they don't want to. They forget that part. Yeah, let's forget about the 300,000 years in between all of the stuff that's happened, let alone 500, 600 years. But okay,
right, you're right.
All right, so
they still trying to figure out. They're still trying to figure out whether, what a woman is right now. So I don't know.
Well, you know, a white dude won Woman of the Year. So
Okay.
all right.
Yeah.
Reason and imagination. It appears to me
All right.
that in
My bad. I didn't mean to cut off good old TJ.
Oh, no. Go ahead.
speaking of the Negroes, comparing them by their faculties of memory, reason, and imagination, it appears to me that in memory, they are equal to the whites. In reason, much inferior, as I think one could scarcely be found capable of tracing and comprehending the investigations of Euclid. And in imagination, they are dull, tasteless, and anomalous.
What is you?
Now, imagine that. First of all, you know, our ingenuity and creativity is dull. Like I'll take Kanye West over Mozart any day. And we don't even like Kanye West no more. But I listen to him over Mozart any day of the week. You know what I'm saying? He's better than him. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, he was like our reason. These are people that have to explain. They can only explain kicking a ball, you know what I'm saying, by, you know, making it a math problem. You know what I'm saying? That's what all physics is. They just make it relatively simple things into complicated problems. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you explain kicking the ball? You know, well, x plus, you know, whatever. I'm not gonna get into that because, you know, but anyway, I'm sorry. So yeah, go ahead. Shanique?
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Okay.
I hear you. I hear you
Yeah,
now.
no, I agree. There's an expansive way that they go about explaining the simplest of things and a certain kind of social awkwardness that they have when it comes to expressing themselves. So if you have trouble expressing yourselves, how can you be creative? Yet you can say that we're not the creative people, that we don't have imagination. It just goes to reek of jealousy and envy from the very inception of when they saw us. And that's sad, but it is what it is.
Yeah, facts. And
You know?
shouts out Melanated Goddess. But yeah, like Bwana said, he probably been reading Dr. Ben and trying to regurgitate it to his white friends, and they like, get out of here with this Negro stuff. And like, yo, they like, oh, Hotep, Neil deGrasse Tyson, they calling him a Hotep now.
It's wild. This is just wild.
Mm-hmm.
When you
Euclid.
go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No,
Go
I
ahead.
mean, when you listen to them, it's interesting that these things have been said about us as far as how we operate. But when you look into the things that they've done, like I've been watching these videos that you've given, I'm just shocked at how deeply dark they really go into wickedness.
Yeah, like you see why I say the stuff I say. It ain't about hating them. It's about, man, like if you feel like I'm not going to debate about Trayvon Martin with you, you know what I'm saying? We just don't need to be in the same society. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to disrespect Trayvon Martin. If you think he deserved to die, why would I want you eligible to be in the jury? You know what I'm saying? Like, we shouldn't be in the same society. Like, that's all it is, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. But now he's getting probably his wake-up call, because just something simple as this could get him his wake-up call, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I honestly don't know how many Euclid-fluent white people Jefferson knew in the original American colonies. Euclid invented geometry. Okay, Euclidean geometry is ancient Greece. And his book's still...
You hear that? Ancient Greece invented every damn thing. You hear that?
You think. I'm just trying to find out where are their pyramids.
Right. You know, they discovered fire, right? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Ancient Greece... It was a cold, dark place until ancient Greece showed up, you know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
And he was the first person to say, look at this triangle, let me measure it. That's what I'm trying to tell you. They added like 6 steps, you know what I'm saying? I wish that we could get the explanation before the Greeks, you know what I'm saying? Before they destroyed the stuff I wanted to hear that kind of explanation instead of like, you know, what they said.
Right.
But,
goodness.
Exists to this day. So he's saying, the black slaves don't know Euclid, can't figure out Euclid.
Well, they haven't been educated.
Well, regardless,
The whole
how
thing is so
many
ridiculous.
white farmers in 1785 USA
Also
knew Euclid?
Yeah,
No.
zero.
Okay. So you know what I did here?
I'm saying, man, like she's like 50 something, 60 something. He's an astrophysicist. We need astrophysicists. You know what I'm saying? We need to know what we shouldn't have a Earth is flat conversation. Let's send some people up in space. How we make rocket fuel? You know what I'm saying? And he is the person who can know how to do that. But he's sitting here shocked at why we aren't, as the human race, advancing together. You know what I'm saying? Because that human race of his is like putting his race down. You know what I'm saying? Because they don't include you in that Neanderthalic race. You know what I'm saying? But you know.
Yeah, I don't think he even, it's almost as if even as intelligent as he is, I don't even think he recognizes that he is outside of their scope of what it is to be. He's an anomaly to them. Like, oh, you are a physicist and you happen to be Black. Oh, let's investigate and study you, because it seems as if it's not possible for them that he could be both of those things. And that's what I don't get, that he doesn't see. Because there is no, oh, can we be these things? We are these things. He said in the very beginning, when you look at all of the genetic material that exists, all the possibilities exist and come from Africa, where we originate. So if that's the case, if you're going to take the large petri dish and say everything comes from that one petri dish, and then go and look at some things that you've dissected out of it in different dishes and say that that's better than the whole, it doesn't make sense. So I know that there has to be some type of conspiratorial action going on. And that's why I look at him a little sideways, because he's a part of the problem. Even though he's a astrophysicist, he's not promoting what needs to be promoted for that subgroup that he happens to fall in, because he doesn't want to identify as anything but a human. But okay, when that young man mentioned that he's a human and an African and also Hispanic, then you got that. And the benefit is that it could help other people who fall into those categories to see that, oh, we can attain to this also. He has to see that there's a reason that if you don't mention it, that it's going on and things are the way they are in the world. That's why I feel like he's involved in something. That's why I feel like this oppression exists for our people for more reasons than just, oh, we mess up and we don't always pay attention in school and maybe there's ADD and maybe all of these different excuses. How about the one big excuse is that there is a conspiracy to keep us from, I don't know, talking to one another, uprising, congregating, all of the things that we've heard have happened in the past. We've come full circle with the same tactics, yet it's just a little more intricate.
Yeah, it's the same thing. Oh, they're actually not that creative. You know what I'm saying?
No.
They still have the same arguments.
Mhm.
And or when you allow them to stop using your brain, they get mad. Yeah, when you don't give them your intellectual property, they get mad. Like a lot of the inventions, we would think that they created it, but that's really not the case. You know what I'm saying?
And that's why they're going with that critical race theory, because we have gone down this rabbit hole to the very core. And now they're like, wait a second, they're figuring out too much. We can't allow this to happen.
Wanda crazy.
I think.
But yeah, you're absolutely right, yo. That's all facts. That's all facts. So, yo, I want to say this, yo, and like I want my brother Bobby here for the next thing, but let me show this, right? Because and I'm not gonna talk about this, but this white dude right here, right? So they started trolling this dude's channel, you know what I'm saying? I don't watch his channel that much, but I did see this one, you know, I watch it every now and then. But this white boy, all of his fans, you know, his white boy fans is like trolling him. So I'm gonna put his name in my joint to see if they try to do the same thing over here, you know what I'm saying? If they try to come, because I'm not gonna be afraid to say his name, you know what I'm saying? And this is the message that he's giving to his people. So yo, I might do that on the next one when I talk about you know, all the good white people. I got I'm gonna put Karl Marx on that list, you know. JFK is easy as hell. I don't understand why, you know, y'all favorite Princess Diana, you know what I'm saying? I'm gonna still do that, but I might talk about this dude too. But I'm not gonna talk about that right now, you know what I'm saying? I want to show something, and I can't even talk about it because it is kind of disrespectful, right? For me to say this, you know what I'm saying? It's disrespectful to them, but right, look, debating and my brother Bobby knows this channel, you know what I'm saying, and I wouldn't go against him without my brother Bobby because he know a whole lot of stuff. But these elders wrote a book, you know, We Are All African, you know what I'm saying, and I can't even play this. It's disrespectful, but all of these people, him, her, him, they are teachers at HBCUs, you know what I'm saying? And they still are coming out of the civil rights kind of era, like, please love me, accept me, we are humans, you know what I'm saying? Like we might as well have on a I am a man shirt, you know what I'm saying? So I want to play just a little bit of it because I can't, it's like disrespectful for me to say something for real, you know.
I have to say, you know, just to for full disclosure, I am a race man, and I adhere to the ideology of race first, and I accept the reality of races and racial distinctions between peoples and populations.
Most of the
But
people
what?
know all that. Are like
Yeah,
that.
yeah, that's why. Yeah,
Right.
and yeah. Okay, so having said that, there are many concepts here and arguments in the text that I feel that we have to speak to. One of the ones that has been repeated several times here and articulated in the text is this what I think is a fallacious notion that all humans came from Africa. Because when we look at the archaeological records, unless we simply define Africa as solely a landmass,
All right, so
and
I'm gonna
nothing
skip
more
it so
than a
y'all can hear
landmass,
the response.
philosophies, it is a history of interactions and relationships and very concepts. And many of the people that we would call white or even Asian or East Indian, they were not there during that, what is called, which I learned.
Even East Indian, oh my goodness.
Other cultures, languages.
All right, I'm trying to get to the
which
response.
I know
I don't have the
really
time
hostile
stamps.
to the very
Coming from one particular place of thinking about these things is to always know that there's nothing wrong with coming from one particular place of thinking and going to another. I mean, it's a very, very interesting. I was just thinking about all these things. The reason I say that is because when I was young and was
All of these are teachers at, well, I don't know about these two brothers, but all of them are teachers at HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? Keep that in mind, you know. And this is, I know my brother Bakari gonna run from me on this one, you know what I'm saying? Because he'd be a little bit emotional about the HBCUs, but this is what I'm talking about, you know what I'm saying? Like, you shouldn't be putting this kind of stuff into, we won't, that's why we don't learn about, we will shoot back, you know what I'm saying? That's why we won't learn about the revolutions, like the channel that's the sister Erica was talking about, how they don't want to talk about it because they want to be accepted by them. And this elitism is kind of like, yo, it's you Negroes holding us back, talking this radical stuff. But I'm not sure where they've been for like the last 700 years. They don't even follow their own treaties with each other, right? You know what I'm saying? What in the hell makes you think, and you're going to be the last one that ever be accepted into that system? You know what I'm saying? So I don't think we should be teaching any kind of history, you know what I'm saying, on a biased kind of, you know what I'm saying, in a biased way.
deep into socialism, I went to Zimbabwe to live. And after living in Zimbabwe, I came as a race man. And the Diallo is because when you say you're a race man, I know about that because Henry Louis Gates told me he was a race man. And somebody told me that Clarence Thomas once said he was a race man. So it was clear to me.
That's messed up, Dr. Asante. You take a shot, man.
I'm just hopping. I'm hopping.
That was a two-piece, Doc.
Oh, Bobby, that's why I'm glad you're here, my brother. I'm not. That's why I'm gonna skip this one because these two elders, you know what I'm saying. You want to say something, Shanique?
I'm just watching this and in awe. No.
Yeah, because I don't want to, because you know this is a an elder sister, especially her,
Yeah. You imagine when you get older that there's wisdom that comes along with it, and I'm looking for it.
She literally hit him with the speech like, we just gotta love our way out of it. She's literally saying we gotta love our way out of it. You know what I'm saying? But okay. And she's right. We gotta love ourselves enough not to put up with this BS. But
there you go.
But all right.
Into it. I'm hopping into it because I said if Clarence is a race.
Bakari coming to stand up for HBCUs in this teaching. Oh, eyes wide open too. Yo, what up, Bakari?
thing I heard, I wasn't even listening because I was busy. But I heard you call my name and you say stand up for HBCUs. I sure am going to stand up for HBCUs. Y'all sound, I'm most definitely.
Yo, Bakari, you went out.
That's what they do.
Yo,
You can't do that.
Bakari, you went
You
out,
can't
yo.
do that.
You hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You went out for
Can
like,
you hear me?
Yeah, you went out for like 10 seconds.
I say to put up three or four professors from HBCUs. That's not to say, oh, this is the HBC. That sounds like white folk, because that's what they do. I'm just saying that's what they do. 3 black people still see all of them still. That's what they do to black folk. I'm just saying, and that's what black folk do. I keep telling. That's why I say white people don't have to talk about black folk no more. Black folk do a good job at it.
All right, so show me 3, 4 revolutionary black teachers right now. Go ahead. It's sad I can put it on one screen, but go ahead.
Okay, so you show 3 or 4. So you show 3 or 4 professors. Okay, I name them. I don't know them, but
yeah.
But I can say
back in your
no,
and this is why I'm not mad at you, because back in your day, you can name 3 or 4 professors,
I know
but
that
you have to realize that.
But let me show you something. Problem with y'all young folks who think y'all know everything. So now the problem.
And Bakari. Yo, Bakari.
90% only 10% of all black students.
Bakari, your mic messing up. Bakari, your mic messing up.
Can you hear me now?
Yeah, your thing
can you hear me?
Your thing was going in and out when the last thing you were saying, and then it went out for a little while.
Only 10% of all black college students go to an HBCU. So y'all should be worried about what white people teaching at their schools, because black people don't go to a black school. For the people that go to white schools, 90%. And the more we talk on social media, we do a good job at pushing the young people away from HBCU.
Yeah, Bakari, yo, you might your thing is going in and I don't know what's going on. I can hear some of what you're saying, but you going in and out. Julius Malema, he's a teacher at the HBCU. All right, so Bakari read on that one, because I asked him to show, 3 Dr. I don't know who that other one is, but I'm not going to speak on. What I'm saying is, right, they're not teaching, right? We will shoot back, and Bakari knows it. You know what I'm saying? He knows that we're teaching some of the more sensitive parts of our history. You know what I'm saying? And we aren't talking about revolutionary things. But that's the problem. You know what I'm saying? You don't have the right kind of teachers at your school. You expect them. See, I'm not even talking about, Bakari's stuck on white people. That's why he always got to bring white people up. I'm talking about black people and black people issues, and Bakari, so addicted to watching Alabama on Sundays, he got to bring up, white people or whatever. Because I'm talking about us cleaning up our schools, you know what I'm saying? Because what I'm saying is that maybe a certain generation of people need to just clean up, just retire. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying, Bakari.
No, and what I said is 90% of black children, college-age children, go to white schools. So they ain't learning much from an HBCU. And for the person that asked the question, what has an HBCU done for the black community? What has those white schools done for the black community? Those HBCUs been underfunded, just like y'all begging white folks for reparation. HBCUs need their money too. But I know I hear a lot of anti-blackness. It's a problem that black people run it. If 90% of the youth going to white schools, the HBCU cannot be the problem. I'm just saying. But I can also show watch this. But I can also show, because I've shown it, where black people who graduate from HBCUs make more money than black people that graduate from white schools. I can show that. That's been proven.
But how does that help though, Kari? Like, how does that help all black people? I mean, not to bash HBCUs, but you expect
because y'all
that
don't talk about the 90% that. How does going to the white schools help? How does that help? Because y'all only talking about what the black folks in charge of. So how does going to the white schools help?
Look, Bakari, I know you love white people now, but hold on. Let her talk real quick.
But the funny thing is, whether they, that's okay. If they go to the white schools, and they come out with the same drive and or lack thereof and motivation that they would if they went to a black school, then what was the point of having the black school at all? Then down with HBCUs if they're only gonna crank out the same stuff.
So, but that's how many people you know literally graduated from HBCUs don't do nothing. You see, and that's the problem that I have. Y'all will look and say, see, look at this. And I'm going to ask, how many do y'all know that just don't do nothing that went to an HBCU?
I could name at least one right now off the top of my head.
Who is that?
Shannon Sharp.
Okay, you named one. You named Shannon. See, watch this. I said somebody.
Cornell West.
But I said somebody. I said. Actually, Cornell West went to Princeton. I said name somebody you know.
Boyce Watkins.
I said name somebody you know.
Watkins.
You know, Boyce Watkins didn't go to an HBCU. He went to Louisville.
No, the people I know is not even on this kind of thing. So yeah, that they are doing. That's what I'm saying. They're not even having these conversations. You know what I'm saying?
Name some people you know that go to HBCUs. It's easy to shit on black folks, right? So watch this.
No.
The same thing.
You don't have to mess on black folks. But you have to expect something from them. Are we wrong to expect something?
It's not wrong to expect something, but it's wrong to just constantly shit on them. And that's what black people. So I'm going to tell you what's going to happen in the next 3 to 5 years. When the next 10 years, when the HBCUs shut down, then they'll be like, we need our own schools. For what? Y'all don't go no way. So all of them should just shut down.
And why would they shut down?
Can do their own thing.
Why would they shut down?
No, you know what they do, they become like satellite campuses to white schools. There've been a few of them did that. There've been a few of them shut down, lack of funding. The same things black people in the community complain about. They need their reparations. So when you don't get the money that you're owed, it's a lot of things that you can't do.
Yo, all right, because we'll just save the ones that was founded for specifically black people and not anybody else. How about that?
I don't care who they were founded for. They became for black people. And that's the point. We can talk about who they were founded for. I just don't get how the problem just become HBCUs. Like the person asking in the chat, what has HBCU done for the community? What has the people who don't go to an HBCU or didn't go to an HBCU do for the community?
Bakari, we just
see how that question can just go.
Same thing, Bakari. That's the problem. We don't expect anything from the whites. You're the only one that's expecting.
Right.
We expect from the black schools. That's what we're saying. We want like certain teachers.
You didn't hear you didn't hear the whole question. I say the ones that didn't go to an HBCU didn't go to school at all. What have they done for the black community?
The same thing the ones who went to the HBCUs did. That's the problem.
Exactly.
I say, what about the ones? No, actually they didn't do. So what the ones who didn't go to school, what have they done for the black community?
The same thing Stephen A. Smith, who went to an HBCU, did. Nothing.
Okay, Stephen. I don't know. You're right. Stephen A. Smith.
I don't know.
Stephen A. Smith did nothing. You're right. He went to Winston-Salem State.
Really?
And the people at Winston-Salem State stopped dealing with him, and he wasn't even allowed to come back to their to coach games, big house games. He wasn't even allowed to come back when they did the tribute to him.
They need an award. Good. That's what needs to happen. People need to hold the people who come from where they come from accountable for their actions, good or bad. And he needs to be held accountable.
And it's okay to hold them accountable, but when you only look for negative, that's
not it. We're not only looking for negative. We just expect to see at least, not even on a large scale. We don't expect the HBCUs to crank out thousands upon thousands of militant black people, oh, we are ready to start the revolution, but we do expect like 5 or 10, maybe.
I mean, just teach. We will shoot back. That's all. Add that to the thing.
Who's in
Teach that.
charge of it? Black folks
Then what's
run
the point of
HBCUs.
going? If that's not going to happen there, what's the point of sending a child that's black there?
Okay, they go to get an education. They go to be around black people. They go for their culture. That's why they go.
But they're not going to get their culture. They go there and they come out and they marry a white woman or a white man. They come out less black than they went in.
Which one? Which one did that? I know you're gonna say Shannon Sharp. So which one did that other than Shannon Sharp?
I don't know. Have a list. I just know that I'm not seeing.
See, that's
the point you're making.
Is I'm more closely, and that's why I said name some people y'all know. I'm more closely to HBCU. You're more close to HBCUs than probably everybody that get on here and just talk negative. So when I say let's name some people. I can name some people. If I name them, you ain't gonna know. But I can name people who act because shit. Damn, not my whole my whole family went to HBCU.
My sister.
So then you have a main line. Then you have a main line to getting them to change whatever the heck they're doing that's wrong, because there is something where people are not coming out in recognition of having any black solidarity. It doesn't feel like it.
No, no, Erica. The problem is these aren't people on TV who we're talking about here, you know. And the problem is, like I was saying, like, do you think they're teaching like what I was just showing in the courses at HB? Well, not the ones that I've seen, you know what I'm saying? And that's what we're saying. And we're saying not all. I'm not saying all HBCUs are bad, but what we're saying is we do need to clean it up. You know what I'm saying? Like of course, I'm not shitting on. Because nobody even talked about white people, but we do need to have our schools producing things that, like she said, why are we going to continue to have our schools that's not producing nothing? We're going to have to start going to our schools, holding them accountable. You know, even like when we go to
like your doctors and your lawyers, they don't get count for producing nothing.
Like who?
Going to HBCUs, becoming doctors and lawyers, that's not producing nothing.
No, that's not what we're saying. They're going there, they're coming out, they're getting degrees, they're getting jobs or starting businesses in the field of study that they went to. That's great. Any college will do that. But when you go to an HBCU, or at least when someone is sent there, you imagine that when they come out, they are the representative and then the firelight for the next generation of people to come out and be proud of being black and helping to lift more black people up in any way that they can. I'm not saying that take the whole thing on their back, but that you expect them to be ambassadors for our upliftment, not just another cog in the machine.
It's too much integration that's going on in there, and it's got corrupted by the civil rights. Like, let's be real. No, there's a certain generation that's got corrupted up in there.
I'm gonna tell you what I told Commissioner Erica Howard. It's gonna be good when more integration go, because black folks talking against them. They don't want to go, but fortunately, you find Mexicans who saying they want to go. And they want to go play football at HBCUs, and you seeing it. You start to see more white people say,
HBCUs giving them more scholarships than the black students. That's what I'm saying, though. Why are they looking out for others?
Okay, where do you come up with this from? They giving them more scholarships. Where do you come up with that from?
Sorry, they not giving them scholarships.
Where did you come up with that from?
I could show it again, because we talked about.
You said they gave. You said they gave more.
You
said they gave more.
Yeah, like, well, you know, they are giving scholarships, and the HBCUs, like, that's why I'm not trying to go in on the HBCUs though. And you trying to
but what HBCU gave more scholarships to white folks and Mexicans? Name the HBCU that gave them more scholarships.
You just gonna be like, oh, that's a private school. You know what I'm saying? That's all you're gonna say.
Name the HBCU that gave them more scholarships. What did you? And you might name one. Out of hundreds, you might name one.
You gonna say, but that's
and that's the point.
It should be unheard of. It should be unheard of.
Allow one, and you, but see, I say he might name one.
How about you expect that? I mean, I expect, and again, I may very well be being too harsh on the HBCUs, but as an HBCU, I think the problem starts with it being historically black. I think it should be currently black. Like, it should be really doing something right now.
Thank you. Update the system. Not get rid of the system, but update the system. That's all we're saying. We're not going to change their curriculum in their schools. We want our students to not go to Colorado anymore. We don't want to get tricked by other people. You know what I'm saying? Like, if y'all want to get stuck in a time frame, you know what I'm saying, then it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? But we're gonna have to update our talking points and our teaching points, is what I mean. You know what I'm saying? We want to teach about like we have to have the right mindset when we have scientists. So we're not saying, oh, I'm a scientist and not and I'm not a black scientist. I'm just a scientist. You know what I'm saying? We don't want that kind of stuff. You know.
So how many kids have we mentored then? See, so it don't start. It started before they go to it, and since it's all in HBCU, so
but you also against the black schools that we try to create for children too. You know what I'm saying? Which I think is the same kind of thing. But I think that's important to get to them when they're young.
When I have the ability to do the same thing. So how many mentoring programs have we started? So before they get to an HBCU.
No, hold on. I'll wait. Because y'all saying this is magical. That's like they didn't have this problem in regular schools. No.
It's the whole community.
No, y'all infected with this integrationist thing where you like, oh well, it's just good. Like, no, like they didn't have this problem when Bakari is talking about. The problem is we have this problem now. That's what I'm saying. Yeah. Y'all don't upgrade y'all information and stuff like this. They taught in regular black schools. They taught children. They have black male teachers.
Somebody go to an HBCU right now would tell you you're wrong. Would you like to talk to someone right now that's at an HBCU that would tell you you're wrong?
I do.
That would tell you you're wrong.
Yes, I do. I do. And because I know people, my sister went to a damn HBCU. She went to a white school. I say yes.
I say, do you want to talk to someone right now? I say, do you want to talk to someone right now that go and will tell you that you are absolutely wrong?
Yes. Show me.
Keyway. Now I'm gonna call my son. Hey, Keyway. So I'm gonna call my son. He's a sophomore at an HBCU. I'm gonna call my son.
How? We talking about the black schools. Y'all keep bringing up white schools. We not the integration.
No, he's a sophomore at Jackson State University.
No, I'm talking about.
No, what you're doing is but what they're saying is all you're doing is talk. See, if 90% of the students going to white schools, 90%.
No.
Wait a minute.
No.
Wait a minute. 90% go to white. 90% go to white schools. So that means 90% of college-age black students is giving their money to a white school while HBCUs are talking about being underfunded. And we have people on YouTube that will co-sign that and will say the HBCU is the problem, but they're underfunded, but 90% of the college-age students is giving their money to other people.
Did I say HBCUs are the problem, Bakari? Because did I not support you when you because I would support you again. I said I'm talking about the problems within the HBCUs that we can manage, that we can fix. We're not talking about the things that we can't. You're not just going to magically get the number to go from 90 to 50. But you're going to have to clean it up for the 10% that goes. So we're talking about the people who go to these schools. Because, we're going to talk about the good. And and this is the crazy part. All of y'all get on me because y'all be like, oh, you don't never talk about this, about black people and this and this. But I'm not even criticizing HBCUs. I'm talking about let's straighten up our goddamn curriculums because we don't learn about all the stuff that we need to learn about. And y'all the ones that keep bringing up some white. I'm not talking about a white school. We know that the white schools, what they're going to do. We know that how they got their money and all of that kind of stuff. We know that we need to support our schools. But while we do that, just like we need to go to school board meetings like locally, we need to make sure that we are in charge of our own schools. And I don't even understand why y'all trying to bring up another school or saying we're like, HBCUs need to be destroyed. I ain't never say none of that. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, hold on one second. Hey, Jake, I'm sorry. Keyway, you're a sophomore at Jackson State. Do they teach you? Is black culture in the HBCU? Obviously. No, is it in?
No, he said black culture. He said black culture.
Let me ask you a question. Do you have a problem with your curriculum as a psychology major? No. Oh, I'm just wondering. See, I'm told you I can let you talk to somebody that's currently there.
No, ask him is we will shoot back in the curriculum when it comes to black history. Ask him that. Well, ask him is the Quaalude revolution I was just talking about in the curriculum that I was just talking about. Or ask him is all of these other things the revolutionary stuff in the curriculum that I was talking about.
No,
Because
those
I didn't
things
say
are not
nothing
in the
about.
curriculum.
I know it's not in the curriculum. I didn't say nothing about Black culture. I said we need to clean up our schools and teach them the things that we need to learn. Like we wonder why we scared to do anything, Bakari. We wonder why we scared to join militias, because we don't think that we can do it, because we don't see that
Hey,
we have
T-Boy,
done it forever.
when did you learn about revolution? How old were you when you started learning about revolution, Key-Boy?
That's your son, Bakari. Not everybody. I didn't know this. You knew this though, Bakari. That's your son, and that's good. You taught him at home.
But I also was part of mentoring programs, and I mentored young men because it started before they get to school. The point that I'm making is some stuff that we talk about, we can do.
And I support it. We talk about that all the time, Bakari, but we also got to come up with the things that we want to teach and all of that stuff. But we talk about coming up with the like Cassandra literally has a program doing more stuff than I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? Like she literally has a program for that very reason. You know what I'm saying? Like we do this kind of stuff. We know that. You know what I'm saying? But if we're going to touch on this issue and we want to save them, we also want to be in control of what is taught. We don't want the same thing taught here as there. You know what I'm saying? It's not about culture, whether there's Black. It's not about the people who went there are negative or bad. We're not saying that even all the teachers is bad. Oh, go ahead.
Did you hear what Eric Howard just? Did you read what Eric Howard just said? You might not say don't go to an HBCU. The thing that come out of Black people mouth about an HBCU would have a child saying, "How would I go there?" Because everybody talk about it.
No,
say
you
something
know why that's
negative.
BS? No, because you said the same thing with goddamn Deion Sanders, right? You was like, no, because every time somebody tried to say something about Deion Sanders, you like, don't talk negative. You can disinfluence them. But no, the one dude that came up here and said something. So now when we actually talk about something bad, do you think that people are gonna be encouraged to your group when you say, oh no, I got all this smoke for Black people? We need to say this about Black people. And actually, yeah, because the self-hatred is there. But you know what? Like we need to get that out of our culture, and the schools is most important. What you say?
Can't apologize no more.
Yo, Bakari, you breaking up, bro.
I can't apologize no more, forecast. Hey, I can't apologize no more, forecast.
For what?
I don't apologize for putting y'all on the train because you mentioned Deion Sanders.
I apologize. I would have done it again. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Are you trying to say like I'm anti-HBCU?
Now watch this. Now watch this. This is what I will say. This is what I will say about HBCUs as much as I defend them. Is it a couple of people, at some of them, that need to be removed because of the system that they're part of? I would absolutely say yes, but I can't say it's all of them. I'm just being honest. I can't say it all of them. But is it some that need to be? But I'm gonna tell you something, right? You talking about the ones that need to be removed. I want you to understand. Most of the ones at the top right now, presidents, athletic directors, top of the administration, that's at the top making decisions for cash. Most of them between 35 and 40. They ain't my age. They around your age range. The ones that people are talking about might be the cowards. Them the ones they around your age. They ain't my age.
Well, you cut me off. I was gonna show more because it was really about their conversation with humans and stuff. But I was trolling you to get you to come on here about the HBCUs. You know what I'm saying? But
and I had to fight back. My business, I wasn't listening, so I had to come and bring some heat. And I know every time.
No, y'all crazy. I think y'all I don't want to ever hear again you, Erica, or Bawana to say nothing about me when I say I'm not hard on the coons, because y'all sure do give a lot of damn passes when I finally say something about the things. I'm only talking about our culture. Here y'all come. Well, what about white schools? And this is the same Bakari that be like, wow, every time we talk about Black stuff, y'all bring up white stuff. And no, we not thinking about white schools, Bakari. We talking about like, all right, this is some of the stuff that is negative. Maybe why some of the younger generation may point some of the stuff out. So like for the children that we have going to our schools, we want to make sure that they become scientists for Black people, and not saying, you know, well, I'm not Black, I'm a Native American, you know what I'm saying, or something, or saying Harriet Tubman don't exist, because that's on the damn rise. You know what I'm saying?
Issues.
Yeah.
I'm having technical issues.
Yeah, because you in and out. Well, go ahead, Shanika. Guy, what up,
Yeah.
Guy? I'm sorry, my brother.
Oh,
What up,
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Yeah,
Shanika.
no,
No,
I was
man, I'm having
thinking.
technical issues. I'm gonna log out and come back on. I got to listen on a different device, man. I'm having technical issues.
All right.
Okay. I was thinking in regards to the HBCU, and I think maybe if he looks at it from this perspective, he'll get what is being said, because I think it's personal for Bakari, and so he's feeling it, but it's not a personal attack for what he stands for and believes in, because obviously he's done the mentoring, he's done the work, he's doing what we expect the HBCUs to be doing on a large scale because they're HBCUs. I feel like when you send your children to these schools, if you're a Black person, you're sending them there for a specific reason, because you expect them to come out, and instead of being a scientist that's starting the next Tuskegee experiment, you expect them to come out and have some kind of uplifting, empowering thing that they're going to do for their people, as opposed to leading them down the road of being the next Miss Evers.
Shanika, I hate I missed what you said, but I was trying to get on another device. Now I'm gonna be quiet.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I done came on here.
No, no. You
I couldn't
said.
hear no one. My other device was messing up. So go ahead. I don't know what you said. Go ahead.
Okay. I think you mistake what it is we're saying about it HBCU, because it's personal, and I don't think that it's meant to be as tender for HBCUs as it's coming off. You do what we're expecting the HBCUs to be doing. You are being that leader in the realm of dealing with Black people and the young generation, and that's what we expect them to do. We don't want Black children to go to HBCUs and come out and start or head the next Tuskegee experiment or become the next Miss Evers. We want them to come out and to stand up. And hey, if you got to be the next Nat Turner, where he going to come from if not an HBCU? Where?
Right. All right, yo, what up, Guy?
Go ahead, guys, because I've been talking and arguing.
Yeah, I had to make Bakari turn up. You know what I'm saying?
Now I got to spank Shanique because she take. And I got to spank her. And I got to spank her in the chat.
Man, y'all gonna have to retire, man. Y'all gonna have to retire.
It's all up.
It's time for retirement for the older generation. Y'all done dropped the ball, Bakari.
Yeah, this is getting juicy though. That's what's up, everybody. I'm just sitting back and listening. But I do want to say something though about the whole thing. I don't think that HBCUs is supposed to be this to make our kids to be this super pro Black person. I just think that as far as loving ourselves, that should be among family. You know what I'm saying? That starts from home. Schools is really supposed to get skills. I think when my parents was growing up, they used to have plumbing and electric. You know, if you want to learn about electrician and all that other stuff, that used to be in colleges too as well. But unfortunately, they took all that stuff out. But I don't have no problem somebody going in there for law or psychology or business. You know, I went to school for business. It's the skills that we need. If somebody going there for sports, I have no problem with that either. And I think people are missing the whole point of going to a college or a university. But I think it is something to be proud of, to be going to something that you're to take advantage that our people, our ancestors worked and built for ourselves. I think we should always take advantage of these things. Most of these white universities are built on slave money. So I think it's very it is a little insulting when you hear, our children going to these colleges that's run and controlled by white folks and that was built on slave money. And And I think we should be a selfish race because, like I said, we don't take advantage of what our ancestors have built. Yeah, you're gonna have people that don't look like us, they're gonna take advantage of it. And I don't think that's be right. How somebody who don't like us and that say, oh well, they don't want it, so we'll do it like you said, like the Mexicans or whatever, and they will take advantage of it. They will take full advantage of it, and they will succeed. They will prosper. So we gotta use these things. We gotta use the tools that is here to as long as we live in the United States, it's always going to be an uphill battle. You know, nothing's not going to be easy. And I just feel like, but there are tools that we can use to better ourselves than to unite. You know what I'm saying? And use the things that our ancestors have that put forth, so we can use it to make it better, and actually and like I said, reconnect to the motherland too as well. So we gotta there's other avenues that we could take to better our race as a people. So and I think that's what we're missing the whole point of what colleges are really for, especially HBCUs. So it's like I said, we have to. I just think that with us, we just have to. We have to put ourselves on a pedestal, and we're not doing that. We're looking at other races of people and see what they're doing and complaining and stuff like that, instead of just thinking about us and worry about what we need to do and put ourselves on a pedestal. And I think that's what we need to start doing. You know. So I yield the mic. I just wanted to say that.
You're right. Hey, 4K, let me say this right quick. I'm gonna show you something, right? The reason, really, you know, I come on, I message you, but the reason I go so hard, right? I'm gonna show you something. Like when you hear people like Coach Slime daughter, the reason we had to leave Jackson State, it was a murder every other month on campus. That is not true. Ain't been a murder on Jackson State campus since 1970. But then you watch social media, people just run with that. Then they talk about the crime. Now watch, I had a nephew that was a counselor at Mississippi State. And he worked, and it was a counselor, and he had something to do with the finance department. I'm gonna show you another reason I go so hard. You know why you ain't hear nothing about it on social media? Because white people made, this coming from my nephew, white people, they had to sign something saying they can't talk about it because it embarrassed the school. It would deter people from wanting to go. That's why you don't hear nothing about it. Lady last night, Ole Miss, even this thing that going on, and since I mentioned his daughter, with $120 million missing from Colorado, they talking about lost investing. You know why you don't hear people talking about it? They can't, because they say it would embarrass the school. And if you embarrass the school, it will deter people from coming. Those people are fired. However they are punished, whatever happened, it happens. But that's why they don't do it. But when it comes to us, that's what we tend to do. Like I said, when I use that one, like we'll just sit and make up lies. Then when you look at social media, everybody you can find 50 channels that has run with that lie, but the 4 or 5 channels that can prove that it is a lie, don't nobody even listen to them. So yes, I'm gonna always stand up for, because see, when they talk about HBCUs, when they ask him, why are you upset? When they ask him, what do you think about the people that are upset with you leaving? Those are the ignorant ones. Those are the ignorant ones, the lazy ones, the ones that don't want to work, don't want to do nothing. They ain't just talking about HBCUs. Them motherfuckers talking about black people, period. You think he was just talking when he said the ones who against him, when they call him ignorant, lazy, don't know nothing, don't want to work? You think he was just talking about the HBCU? No, he was talking about everybody, all black people that don't have money. And he started off with the HBCU, then it on down to all black people. And they have put all us in the same box. If you don't have money, you ain't worth a damn. And this coming from the black folks that went to them PWIs forecasts. I yield the mic.
Now, I'll let Shanique speak, but Shanique, you know, I'm starting to see how the ball got dropped, because you know If it's something that they love and get emotional about, you better not say nothing about it. But anything else they can say. But you know, and then you notice they keep saying used to do this and used to do that. But okay. Yeah, go ahead, Shanique. Go ahead.
I'm over here and I'm feeling like I was just gonna keep my mouth quiet about HBCU.
Yes,
Because
sir.
obviously that's what you want. Don't expect anything more. Fine, you're right. We should just be quiet. Let them do whatever they're doing. At least we have a school, and I guess we should just say that they're doing spectacularly, just splendid. And let it be at that, just so that we don't get our schools closed down, because that's the mind that it seems like you're coming from. And I do expect them. I do expect them to crank out really black-minded, all black everything. This is what I expect from an HBCU when you leave there, because that's why you went there. For that matter, you could have gone to any school. What, you want to go to school just to be around other black people? You would then move to the hood, because you can do that too and make a difference there when you do it. Like, I just don't understand why we have this idea of lowered expectations when it comes to HBCU. And I'm not saying that it's bad all around, that everyone there is doing horribly. Of course not. All I'm saying is that I expect them to hold themselves to the level that at one point they did. When they first started, there was a time, and I'm sure Bakari knows this, there's a time in our history where black people, excellence was the expectation, not the hopefully, but the expectation. So why is that not the case? I should never even think of the idea of a black person going to an HBCU and coming out and having podcasts and YouTube channels and different things that talk about how they don't care for black women, or how the black people women should divest into marrying. But like, that's crazy to me. But believe you me, this generation that you're talking about, that maybe they've dropped the ball and not your generation has dropped the ball, they're coming from all kinds of universities, and HBCUs are included. I would not be surprised if they come from a Harvard or a Yale. What do I expect? I expect them to toe the line. This country is built on our backs. I expect them to toe that line, but I don't expect that from an HBCU. But I will be quiet from this point forward about it, because if it is deterring people from going to HBCUs because they hear negative things, then by all means, zip my lip, put it in my pocket. But I do think that if they are going to go there, somebody should at least, maybe you, maybe, I don't know, maybe me, someone should prod them to have more concern about issues that are directed and geared to their people. Not all people, not all women, but black women, black people, black children.
No, people of color.
Yeah, not melanated people, not people of color, but black. That's who identify. People who have been ancestors of slaves in this country. That I yield.
No, you know Rachel Dolezal will get her HBCU scholarship, even though
right
they will deny it. But okay, man. But anyway, it's not about whether all HBCUs are bad, you know what I'm saying? Because I definitely support, and I say go to a HBCU before that, you know what I'm saying? But I do think that it's kind of crazy that y'all like have all the smoke when I try to, you know, and I'm not even critiquing. I'm critiquing, especially, I'm talking about one specific thing. If you have African studies, African American studies at an HBCU, I think that there are certain things that, and if they are taught this, then I am making an accusation, but I don't think they are taught this. And I think that, like she was saying, somewhere like when you had your own, like we patrolled in it, we had all of these high standards, you know what I'm saying, in our schools, but we, you know what, we thought we had a choice today. We think we have a choice, the illusion of inclusion. And that's the problem, you know what I'm saying? I'm saying that there are a lot of people in decision making, not the teachers, because some teachers are handcuffed by the very things that we're talking about. They can't teach the curriculum because they're handcuffed, you know what I'm saying? And we want them to be able to teach that I'm black and I'm proud, you know what I'm saying? It's okay to say that. And we want the skills, but we also want the skills for our own nations. We don't want to be able to build satellites and give it to America. Like, especially if you are Pan-African, you want to go give it to, you know, an African nation, build satellites for them so they can get on TV. You know? That, you know, so like you definitely want the skills, but and it even starts at a younger age than HBCUs, but you want them to realize there's a bigger thing going on. Like we need satellites. Yeah, we need you to have the skills for all of these positions, but we also need it for our communities. You know what I'm saying? To stop getting
Right.
diluted. You know. But yeah,
And yeah, Forecast, I wanted to jump in, and you made a good point, and I agree. And I think that skills is definitely, we need to bring the skills back home. You know what I'm saying, to our people that looks like us, and like you said, build that nation that we always talk about. I 100% agree with you. Also, I want to say too is that once we do have a hands on to something, I think we should perfect it. Number one, I do agree with you. I don't think white people or any other race of people should be teaching our kids, or professors or whoever. I don't think that if we're gonna claim HBCUs, we should dictate who should teach our youth. So I think that we can fight for these things. These things that we can do. But I think because a lot of black folks are cooning, and you got a lot of black people looking for you got a lot of integration Negroes, and they want to feel accepted. They don't want to feel like they're racist and all this other bull crap. Of course, they're gonna, allow any old body into their home. So those are the things I do have an issue, because like I said, when you show that video about that white teacher, that white piece of shit, excuse my language, getting that young sister arrested because she didn't apologize or whatever, and that was in an HBCU. That teacher should, that chick, that Neanderthal shouldn't even been in that school, been in that university. You know what I'm saying? They don't have no respect for us like that. They don't have respect for our youth like that. And that is the number one biggest mistake that our people always do. We went through all these horrors with these Neanderthals, and then you want these same Neanderthals to teach our children. You know what I'm saying? Yes, our children need to know our history. They need to know about where they come from. They need to know about Mother Africa. They need to know about ancient Kemet. They need to know about these things. They need to know, because that is our history. United States is not our history. You know what I'm saying? I should not be learning about no damn George Washington or whatever. That's not that person have nothing to do with me. You see what I'm saying? That's white people shit. That has nothing to do with me. You know what I'm saying? So, we need to teach our youth. We need to teach our youth our history, and I think that's very important. And I think that's something that we could do as a people. But like I said, I think it's this fear. You know what I'm saying? And now it's like everybody want to go along to get along. You know what I'm saying? So. Is HBCU is perfect? No, it's not perfect. It could be better. It could be better as far as like you said, as far as history and all that stuff. Now I will say this is that if my son goes to a HBCU, 9 out of 10, he's going to come out probably marrying a sister. Because a lot of these black men that go to these white universities, they all get white girls and marry white women.
You sure, brother?
So that's the only thing I would not allow my children to go to none of these universities, because that's all they're going to see is white, and they're going to think that, well, I want a white girl or I want a white man. So I think that is we got to think on that level. And so HBCU is definitely perfect for our youth, because 9 out of 10, something positive is going to come out of it. It's positive at the end of the day. Something positive, because like I said, it's going to be that's all they're going to see is themselves. They're not going to see they're not going to see a whole bunch of white people, a whole bunch of red people, brown people. They're going to see themselves. So that's the only good thing that I like about it. But yeah, can HBC could be improved? Yes. Number one, don't allow white people to teach us youth. We should teach our youth. That's our thing. You know what I'm saying? All these intelligent African people across the world. And you know what I mean? It's so we are the most intelligent human beings on this planet. So so yeah, so that yeah, that's the only thing I need to say. I just think that I think Forecast, you hit some good points. That's you know.
But you know what, guy, you can't say that, because if you say, oh, a white girl shouldn't be teaching and get a black girl arrested in the HBCU, oh Lord, now you're talking negative and you might not want to. Come on, man.
But Shanique, yeah, you asked Guy, was he sure? Yes, I'm sure.
I asked, was he sure?
Yes, I'm sure. I'm willing to bet you 95% or more.
You know,
black that go to the HBCU is married to is married to someone black. I'm willing to bet you that the black.
Of course,
if you're going to a school and you see black people, you know what's funny? Okay, I sadly I have to represent black women because I'm a black woman, and I recognize that black women are the least loved in this friggin' country, probably this whole daggone planet. And the reason is not because you don't see us, because everyone sees us. They spend their time trying to copy us in action and vision and everything. Okay, so they see us, and being around us is not the thing. The issue is, what are they told about us? Because when you see a black woman in distress and she's acting out because she's living a PTSD life because we've come from slavery and it's in our genes at this point, and we behave a certain way, then it's, oh, you're ghetto, you're ratchet, you're this, you're that. Then all these things are promoted as black things, as negative black things. But you get that as a teaching, then you can see black women left and right. You're still going to go to calm, genteel Becky because she's so sweet and so kind and so patient and so all of these things, because you haven't been taught, hey, black women have gone through this and that, and they've had to do this and that, and they've had to know to be quiet to save their husband, spouse, brother, sister, whatever during all this time. Like, it's just like, you can't remove educating people. Just seeing you is not going to be enough.
And you gonna blame black men or black woman dating out on HBCUs? Wow, that's a.
I'm not gonna. No, don't cook it down to that type of gravy. I'm not gonna blame it on just that.
No. That's what you. No. I'm just saying on what you just said, because you're talking about, and they dating white women, and I just ask people.
Are they not? Are they not?
How
many of these athletes do we see?
Wait a minute. Okay, good. I'm glad you said that.
These actors, do we see?
I don't
like
know how
all these celebrities. There's a lot. The black men, and I don't want to make it about that, but it is a big thing.
Oh, okay. I got you. But you don't blame. You don't blame black men dating out on HBCUs, and now eventually, that's what you said. Because when guys said when they go to a HBCU, they get a black woman, you're like, are you sure? Then you went on the tangent talking about that.
I did, because I want to know if he's sure, because I don't believe that that's the case.
But the thing about it is, this is what I tell people: get to know folks that went to HBCUs and see what their spouse look like. Because I'm willing to bet you that's the case.
I can bet you opposite, but what are the stats on it? Do we know?
No, I would say this though. I think that there is a problem with, like, since we've seen like white girls in the cave, and I can't say that it's HBCU or not HBCU. I think that is a lot of black dudes that do just like white girls, and that's why you hear a lot of people in HBCUs, out of HBCUs, talk about, we all one race. You know what I'm saying? But it shouldn't be nobody, a teacher, teaching that crap. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying.
But the point is, I'm gonna say it's not HBCUs, because the problem is, Forecast, you don't see. I'm gonna say it again. You don't want to say now HBCU, because she said
because it's dudes and you can name.
No. I ain't gonna let nobody get away with that one. See, you can say a whole lot of stuff, but just now,
but I could name. I could go down the list of like the black dudes. It's not an in or out though.
Now blaming interracial dating on someone.
I just asked the question. I'm not blaming them for cranking out interracial groups. I'm asking a question, because if you go to school and you're relying on just seeing them.
No, you got to let me finish, because I was
go ahead. I'm sorry.
So when you say that, and people go to, let me see, black men or black women, they go somewhere, let's say University of Arizona, where the whole state is less than 5% black.
I'm here.
The whole state is less than 5% black.
Yes.
And the school, matter of fact, I had a cousin got killed by some people, by some racist white dude in Arizona, ran him off a mountain. He was riding his motorcycle. But then they go to the University of Arizona, where the black student population might be 5%. So which one you think?
Well, Bakari, look, because I let you do this in the last time just to make you have a fair thing, but I literally said the opposite of that. I said, like, I don't think that are you telling me because a black man went to HBCU, he ain't gonna have a white woman, dog? Like, I don't think it has anything to do with it. I'm saying that the opposite of what you're saying.
And what I'm telling you is it has what school they go to and what they're around. Yes, it has a lot to do.
No, not if you have been taught certain things. If you are being taught the things that our people have gone through in this country, how could you even bring yourself to that?
Who's doing the teaching? Who's doing the teaching before they get to HBCU?
Initially, it should be the parents. From the beginning, yes, we should be the parents. But now you know, just as well as I know, that your average black parent cannot say, "Oh, I'm not going to let my kids go to public school. I'm going to take them out and educate them at home." They're probably working. But if they aren't, maybe they could. And there's a lot of them who have stepped up, especially after the pandemic, forced a lot of parents to have to realize they have to homeschool their children, or at least do have their children at home. But once they're educated at home, they should know. I have 6 sons. I wish one of them would. They all know. And it's not because I dislike white people. That's not my issue. My issue is, why would you want to go date someone outside of your race if you're dating for the purpose of marriage? That's the purpose. It's not to go in there and have fun. I don't believe in that sowing your oats and all that filthiness. No. We're trying to create soul ties with who? What are we trying to do? So my point is, if I've taught you that, if I've done my job at least at home, I'm not worried when you go to college if you're surrounded by 101,000 white people. I know what I don't expect. I expect once you've gotten your degree, you'll go out, you'll get your job, and you will seek out, because it is a wonderful thing when a man finds a wife. But I guarantee you, if you're a black man, you should find a black wife and have black children. And I don't think that saying that means anything negative to other people. I think that love of self is one paramount idea. That's all. I just don't think seeing anybody is going to be the thing that makes you decide that you love them. But if you have been educated at a school even further about the things that your family, your generations, your ancestors have gone through, I couldn't see myself looking at Ken or Becky and going, "Oh yeah, she's suitable. He's suitable." No, not for me. Maybe for Brad or Kelly. I don't know, but not for me.
I'm gonna say again, maybe y'all need to talk to some people that's in HBCUs, and then we wouldn't come up with stuff like.
I think you need to talk with people outside of your circle. I think, and people that's younger than like people born after like 1970 something.
My son is 19. My daughter is 18. My cousins go to HBCUs.
Yeah. I got family that.
But they also have encounters with you. Right. But you're the anomalous figure in their lives.
But it's not. No.
What about those who don't know Bakari?
But I ain't talking about what I'm saying. I'm gonna tell you that you ain't gonna see no whole lot of let me see. You ain't gonna see maybe 1%, if that much, interracial dating at an HBCU. That's just what it is. What they do when they get 50. That ain't my business.
I know you. That's a different conversation. See, I know you're trying to make it 2 different conversations. That's the point. Y'all try to do these slick things and then try to make arguments like that. We're not making.
I didn't do anything slick, but to blame interracial.
What they do when they're 50.
But to blame interracial dating on an HBCU, that's asinine.
Yeah,
that's not what I'm doing. It is asinine, but that's not what I'm doing. I'll say this. if you are not being educated, if you take someone at a school and they go to an HBCU and they're not being educated at a higher level about their own people at a place that you'd expected, then of course they're going to go out and feel like the world is my oyster. I can marry whomever I want because I am an exemplary human being being the emphasis. So what's the difference? They could go to Harvard. They could go to Yale. What does it matter then? That's what I'm saying. And if you're saying that they don't have to go, or even if Guy is saying that they don't have to be taught to be blackety black when they go to an HBCU, then what do you expect them to do when they come out? Like you said, they've been immersed with all of these other people's culture, right? And they come out and then they're going to live this American dream.
Let me kind of cut in for a minute.
Mm-hmm.
I think we missing the whole point of this topic. First of all, for one thing, it's only natural that education starts from home, right? Self-love starts from home, right? If you really love yourself, you're not going to endanger your children to go to an all-white anything. You're not going to endanger. Why would you put your kids into the lion's den?
I live in Arizona. My kids have been in school.
That does not
all
make
white kids for the longest
sense. Now
it is what it is.
It doesn't make any sense. Not to me, because I'm not.
Unless you can afford to send your kids to private school. If you live in a white neighborhood, that's what's going to happen.
Well, I don't live in a white neighborhood. Hold up. I don't live in. First of all, for me, I don't live in a white neighborhood. That's number one. And I'm not going to endanger my kids to go to an all-white school. Okay? Because that's what self-love comes from. Self-love comes when you be around your own. And this is something that Black folks, African people, need to start doing. I'm not going to endanger that. You're endangering your kids. You endangering them. They have to go through. They have to go through.
Do you put your kids around Black people that have no mindset at all? If this is what you're saying, if you're just wanting to be around Black people.
Yeah, hold on, Shanae. I'll let you go. I'll let you respond.
Yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
Let him finish.
Sorry.
So what I'm saying is that self-love starts from home. You know, you don't want to put your kids in some sort of danger where they have to, because if you go to, we have heard many stories where Black kids go to all-white colleges and universities, and they have to deal with all that racism, and some white people call them the N-word and all that. So we see so many madness on YouTube about that. So many madness. So I'm not going to endanger, or even an all-white neighborhood, I'm not going to endanger my family to go to the lion's den because what? Because it looks nicer, or this misconception of their education is better. That's nonsense. I'm sorry. I want, if you love yourself, then you be around your own. There's a lot of beautiful, intelligent Black women that go to college. The majority of as far as gender is the Black woman when it comes down to colleges. Okay, so there's no excuse for no African man, Black man, to find a intelligent, beautiful sister in these colleges. No excuse. And this is where the HBCUs come in. We talking about self-love here. So you endangering your kids thinking, oh, well, you know, as long as I teach my kids about their history, I could just take them to all-white colleges and I expect them to for them to bring back a Black woman. No, because then you're confusing them. You're confusing them. And then you endanger their lives. And then that's a whole contradictory. So we got to stop playing these games, man. Like, and I said, we just got to stay true to ourselves, man. We got to stay true.
Now,
and I get them, right.
No, I'm gonna let Shanique, but let me ask y'all, because I'm gonna show you this, Shanique. You know what I'm saying? Because they saying that I'm being Black, and I think that y'all actually being anti-Black. You know what I'm saying, by saying this. Are you telling me? Because yeah, you're right. You don't want to send your kids to the line. So are you telling me that you should let a lion come to your den and teach the kid in the school and get arrested? And the question is,
And
if
I told
say
you,
something,
I told yo,
right,
I didn't cut you off,
hold on.
Forecast, but I told you that should not happen.
So if I say something about it, am I saying, am I discouraging people from going to HBCUs? Because that's literally
No.
what
If you
this whole
speak out
thing
against
started
that, no,
over.
you're not discouraging them. No.
So the problem is, if I say anything about it, it's certain subjects that people have a bias over, and that's why I know y'all biases, and I go after y'all biases, so y'all even think about it. You know what I'm saying? Because if I talk about it in a different way, then all of a sudden now I'm putting down all HBCUs. Because no, am I putting down all teachers because I say that this is like not what's up? You know what I'm saying? Am I putting down all HBCUs when certain ones are offering room and board for Ukrainian students, when their students are talking about room and board? But I'm wrong for even bringing it up because I'm talking about HBCUs. Now I'm the one who's being anti-Black when I'm the one saying let's support. I'd rather you go to the HBCUs, but and to encourage us to do this, let's fix the things that we can. We can go to the school board meetings today, but we don't do it. We can build our own schools up, but we don't do it. You know what I'm saying? You allowing the lion to come into your den and be the teacher at this point. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the problem that what they wasn't having back in the day. You know what I'm saying? And this is what I talk about when I talk about curriculum. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is decided by like people major up in the system, you know what I'm saying? And they're usually older Black people, just like in their political systems, right? So if I say something about that, you like, yo, we need to get like young, fresh people into like, especially decision making. I know Bakari said it's younger people, but let's not act like certain people ain't picked. But a lot of these, because the other dude I was gonna show, he's not an old dude, but he's a teacher at Morgan State. But Bobby, my brother Bobby, I was gonna talk about him and his Marxism stuff, and the dude say we don't need Black banks, and he's a teacher at Morgan State. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's not old. It don't have nothing to do with old, but it's that he even said, you know, I'm in the boule kind of thing. But you know what I'm saying? But like, I think that if we not even going to even mention that, you know what I'm saying, then y'all just cool with the way things is going, and something that went astray from the last 50 or 40 years. So maybe we got to do something a little different instead of getting stuck in the same cycle over and over. You know what I'm saying? But you know, go ahead.
What you just did was you twist a whole lot of stuff.
How? That was the whole. Bobby.
What you did was you ran a whole lot of stuff together.
I'm the one that created the whole thing. How I twisted up.
You say people said something about you talking about. We said that negative. I say it's negative because you said something about a white woman having a Black child arrested at a HBCU. That is not never said that was negative mentioning that. Not one time.
No, Bakari, you on here literally saying that I'm talking negative about HBCUs when I'm highlighting a particular thing that needs to be eradicated within the HBCU. Just like I would talk about the white girl. You just understand the thing because she's a white girl that got a Black girl arrested, but you don't understand it the other way.
And did nobody say anything about that? Nobody said anything about that. That's a conversation. I told you have conversations with yourself. Because nobody said it.
But I was literally showing the video, Bakari. That's what you came on here. You say you can't blame all HBC, and I never did.
I not one time mentioned that. When I came on, because I told
the first thing you said.
I didn't say nothing about the white one. You
said I blame all HBCUs when I never did blame all HBCUs. I never said nothing about all HBCUs. But you said what I'm saying right now is discouraging.
Forecast, what you said was, and they professors at a HBCU. And you can say you don't have to say all when you say and that's a professor from an HBCU that's teaching that.
And these are the people I'm talking about. And that's what I said. These are the people I'm talking about that Bakari is running from.
So watch this. If you just talking about a Black person that's teaching bullshit, why is it important to mention that they went to that they teach at an HBCU? Why is that important? I'm just saying, if you just talking about they're teaching bullshit, why is it important to say, that's a teacher at an HBCU?
Just
And
like it's important, just like it's important, just like I would be like, yo, that white girl is a teacher at the HBCU doing this thing at an HBCU. This needs to be cleaned up at HBCUs. Why would I say it at a white school? I don't care. Y'all came on talking about white schools. Nobody brought up white schools.
I'm
but y'all.
gonna tell you something, Forecast. Once you understand the economics of school, understand school is a business.
We saying they should go there. But that's what when did I say they shouldn't go there, Bakari? I'm only talking about it because they should go there.
If you understood that it was when 90% of black college students see, obviously black people don't have a problem with giving their money to white schools, so they can't have all white teachers. When 90%
with that.
When 90% of them is going to white schools, you can disagree.
I'm saying I disagree with them doing that. I'm saying.
So obviously they don't have a problem. That's why when somebody they can sit and say, well, HBCUs don't do this, HBCUs don't do that, HBCU. So I guess when they go to Arizona State, they're gonna have all black professors that's teaching black power. And the point that I'm making is, if we gonna put everything just in this lap right
they're
here,
not gonna have if they go to Bethune Cookman, they're not gonna have all black teachers teaching black power either. They might get arrested in a damn class. You know what I'm saying? That's the problem.
You know what? I don't know anything about I know Bethune Cookman. I take that back. I do know a little bit about Bethune Cookman, but I can say this. Now you can say they might get arrested in a class. I ain't never know that happened at Bethune Cookman. So, but you can say that. But one thing for sure, two things for certain, and the third one is a fact. When you go to somewhere like the University of California, you might not have a black teacher at all. But for some strange reason, everything is just blamed on what black people is in charge of. So when these young folks come out,
everything, Bakari.
So when the young folks come out, these young folks today, they come out and they with these white women. I know somebody with a white man, and I know as well. Just blame that on HBCUs. Just look and see.
You're not gonna say I blame that on HBCUs, Bakari.
Look and see.
That's the only way Bakari can win arguments by twisting the whole thing up. This is all right shit.
Rewriting my words.
Guy heard it too. Look and see what
Guy,
school
and
they
you
go
and
to.
Guy both hear what's going on in the soundtrack in your mind, then, because that's not what I said.
But instead of saying, you know what? Yep, some HBCUs got problem. Yep, I don't like that. The whole thing is with HBCUs ain't teaching nobody to be pro-black.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
Is that really the school's job, or is it at home job?
That's the school's job. If not, if you're an HBCU.
Okay, but now watch this. And I ask,
is that the white school's job? What are you talking about? You just said HBCU.
Thank you.
That's not the school's job.
So how many students?
So what's the point then?
How many people do y'all know went to HBCUs, graduated from HBCUs, and not pro-black? How many do y'all know?
I know a few.
Okay, you know a few.
Which one?
How about you,
like
Shanique?
In my personal life, you know, I can name people know, but I know people.
I can't name you any.
What school you know that teacher be pro-black?
I have family members.
Please let me know.
I have family members that have gone to these HBCUs. I have family members in the military, different things, but I can't ascribe to everything they've done. I know that they've not done the monumental things I expect people to do who've come from HBCU. That's what I'm saying.
Hey, God,
I expect it to be something different.
Yeah, the ones who Bakari used to go to, but I keep having to say used to. They used to teach that kind of when you had your own businesses and your own families, units and stuff, and instead of like, because I didn't even bring up Thurgood Marshall and that whole thing.
Dr. Anthony Browder is Forecast.
Yeah.
Oh,
I'm not an expert on them, but yeah, I know. Yeah.
Okay. Well, look and see what he teach, and then look and see what he teach, and and look and see where he go. Do you know who Dr. Ben was? Look and see what schools down south was paying him to come to the universities.
Wasn't he like self-taught?
No, Dr. Ben. He started off self-taught, but then he went to college. After that, what I'm saying, look and see which schools down south was paying him to come and teach about Black history. And
those schools was used to doing that. Yeah, you can like name me something that hadn't happened like before I was born though, Bakari. Jesus Christ, that's what I'm trying to say.
And like I said, you can keep making it all be HBCU, but I ain't.
Who said all? Who said all? Who said all? Nobody said all. What are you talking about? That's what you keep trying to say. You take one issue and then be like, oh, all. I'm saying all. I say you should go to HBCUs first. But we also want HBCUs too, because like you're right, guy. They don't do that. They used to do that when we had our stable communities, and we all we doing is saying like, and we're not even putting it on. But hold on, Bakari. We're not putting it on nobody else. We're saying we are the ones that got to do it. Like nobody else. I'm putting it on us.
Okay, as you just said, a stable community. Have you ever thought about, since the community ain't stable no more, that also change what the children are seeing in the community? Right. Exactly. Instead of just saying school, what about the community? It's black
just the school. Like we talk about other issues though. Like this is one issue.
The point that I'm making is it's black folk. I ain't gonna look and say, see, it's the HBCU because
so we take it out of HBCUs, then we can say black folk. But if we put it in HBCUs, then all of a sudden we gotta put a lock on our tongue because why? With certain things we give a pass to.
No, the point that I'm going to say it again. I don't talk about people about what they don't do if I have the ability to do it. And I made that statement to say it's us. That's why I ask about how many mentoring programs we have.
We agree.
It's us. Like the guy put in the chat, he said, when they start seeing Black Wall Street pop up all over the United States, then you would say the HBCUs are doing something. So we're going to just wait on them to do something, or maybe we should work together.
No, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. We the ones who need to be held accountable at this point. I'm just saying, okay, well, they had a good run now. Let's give us our turn to try it. You know what I'm saying? Like, and this is the direction, you know what I'm saying? We're not going on to love everybody and hold hands kind of direction.
I'm gonna send you some of them presidents between 35 and 40. You can see them.
Yeah, they probably their sons and daughters and stuff like that. They pass it down the line. Because the brother I was gonna show was Dr. Jared Ball. Because Bakari, you gotta mess me up too, Bakari.
He on that socialism stuff. No, I'm not. Yeah. I'm gonna agree with you when they go to saying crazy stuff. I don't. Right. Look, when they go to teaching crazy stuff. Look, I come on here and I argue. And you know, when me and you talk, I'm honest. I already know. But coming on here and trying to be honest ain't gonna even be no damn fun. But I know it's shit, you don't think I know and me and you talk? You don't think I know?
Yeah, I know. That's why I be trolling you.
Have damn issues. So I'm going to say again, it won't be no fun if I come on here. Yes, of course, there's some problems. But since everybody talk about the problems, I'm going to talk about some of the positive. I just ain't going to talk about what they don't do. I'm going to also talk about what they
But Bakari, that's where the flag is on the play, because I heard all about it for years. Well, we need to, all you talk about is this, like everybody get mad because I only talk about other people, you know what I'm saying? And y'all be like, oh, well, you know, we's our own worst enemy and all of this stuff. And then the second I do that, you know what I'm saying? Now all of a sudden you bring up somebody else. Like that's not what I literally preach, you know what I'm saying? Like I show these white professors all the time, you know what I'm saying?
And like I told you, right, even when I mentioned Deandra, Coach Slime daughter, just literally just made up a lie about in that. So for me, yes, because I see how yes, and I'm going to say it again. Yes, I'm going to defend it. I'm going to defend it with King Fuse. I'm going to defend it with Bliss City. I'm going to defend it with Ken Clark and whoever else want to defend it. Because you don't understand. They ain't just talking about an HBCU when they can sit and make up a lie and talk about the crime and there's a murder every other month and they are because they ain't seeing college students doing it, so they are trying to act like the black people. So it ain't just HBCUs when everybody on here, now I ain't talking about on your channel, when people all over social media talking about HBCUs, if you listen to them closely, they're talking about black people. They are talking about black people. So for me, you're damn right. I'm going to defend it. And I call that young skank a liar because that's what she is. She's an app. But according to social media, because she's Coach Slime daughter, once she made that statement, you can find about 50 channels that's just riding with it. Yeah, that's true. So what, when we say, so when you hear, when young folks constantly hear that, oh, that's why I ain't going, because there's so much crime. And look how they robbing and stealing. And look what they're doing at the HBCU. And look at this and look at that. Like, goddamn. So we just ain't shit. So yeah, I'm going to defend it. Because the people who she talking about, which that shit didn't happen what she said. they probably wouldn't have gone to the.
But Bakari, do you now? Let me ask you this question because I gotta, Bakari. Let me ask you this: do you think that's how you got caught up in the Deion Sanders thing? Because you like, I just gotta blindly defend something.
No,
Not to
I
bring
got
it
caught
up, but
no, I already told you I got caught up in Deion Sanders when I heard him talking about David Banner in his Black Power movement that he was on. That's literally I heard him talk about that about 6 months before he ever got the job. I didn't even know they had interviewed him and about to give him a job. He was like, yeah, I had to study some things, and there's some things I got into, and I've been with David Banner. So it's some things that I've been into that I just ain't into no more. I understand the Black Power more now, and I understand what Black people need to do together and how we are what this country, I'm telling you how we are what this country benefit of. That's what I got caught up in before he ever got the job. And when he took the job, because I'm gonna be honest, I never thought Deion would go to an HBCU because he made it known he wanted to be at Florida State or a school like that. So when he went to an HBCU, I'm like, damn, Deion meant what he said. I got caught up in that about 6 months before he ever got the job. That's how I got caught up.
yeah, but because I'm saying, because on here you jumped on here to defend this, you know what I'm saying? Because this is all I was calling out, and I didn't want to do it because they older too, by the way. So I'm glad you actually did, but. The origins are race. We are all African. And this is the one I was telling you. They might well have called the book I Am a Man. You know what I'm saying?
That's really what I wanted to talk about because you know I don't agree with that.
Yeah. But that's what I was saying.
I don't agree with that bullshit that we all African. Hell no.
They're teaching that in the Afrikaners courses, though.
Well, hey, guy, what's that big fat guy name who used to be on Sarnetta, wear glasses?
The
real fat
big
one.
fat guy on Sarnetta?
Yeah, bald head.
Big fat guy.
Yeah, the one in the white school had tried to throw him in jail because they lied and tried to get him fired while he was tenured. Because this is what he started teaching. He had his own curriculum. And what you were talking about teaching forecast,
right?
That's what he started to teach. And they got rid of him.
That's what I'm talking about. We should be outraged.
But then he went to an HBCU and was teaching the same thing. And he said they didn't have a problem and the students loved it. But he was at a white school. He was at a white school and tried to teach it. Goddamn professor. He about my age, guy. He might be a little younger. He might be a little younger than me, close to you. I cannot think of that damn dude.
Smalls.
No, man. Come on, man. I ain't old. Professor Smalls down. He's like 80. He like 70. I can't. It was a real big fat guy. He had lost some weight. Had a bald head. He wore glasses.
I think I know who you're talking about. He said that we was Native Americans too, right, Bakari?
No, hell no. He don't say that. No,
or it was a flat Earth. You talking about? I know who you're talking about. It's like Issa or something.
He don't say that at all. But anyway, what you're talking about teaching,
like Professor Issa, is that his name?
Yeah, Professor.
He do. Look at what he believes. He is either the flat Earth or either.
I didn't know who that was.
So he might believe in flat Earth, but he don't believe in Native American. He always talk about how we come out.
Yeah, it's one of the two.
Oh yeah. I think I remember now. He's a flat earther.
And that's the history he was teaching. And they had to give him, but he ended up in the HBCU, and he was teaching the same thing. He ain't been on Sarnetta in a while. He was also getting organization together. He graduated from an HBCU, ended up at a white school, but then he ended up back at the HBCU. But I can't remember what HBCU he was at, where he said they just let him teach. And that's what he teach. He teach about the rebellions and everything.
Hey, Bwana was like working for but what's the difference? You know what I'm saying? Y'all taking up for people working for the US government now and saying I'm wrong for calling them out. They talk about we all African. Are we all African? And I agree with him on this point. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad that we didn't play it because she was like an elderly sister, you know what I'm saying? But she really did say we gotta love our way out of it pretty much, you know what I'm saying? But Bakari, let me play this for my brother Bobby. It's only like a minute or two though of this, you know what I'm saying? If he's still there. And this is with the Marxist thing. And he's a professor at Morgan State, Bakari, HBCU.
Which I don't know much of us would ride for that book. Even Ibram, and then
But so I want to ask this question. So you talk about ethical systems, and then even in the system, I saw the same things people who talk about Marxism, communism, socialism, anarchism argue. But in the book, you spend a lot of time on Michel Foucault and lightly on.
Quickly, I just disagree, Dr. Dove, with how you describe Marx's analysis of primitive accumulation.
This Bobby's boy right here, y'all. You know what I'm saying?
Quickly, I just disagree, Dr. Dove, with how you describe Marx's analysis of primitive accumulation. He was not being demeaning to African people. He wasn't referring to primitive in the sense of primitive humanity. He was talking about the initial stage of the accumulation of resources.
This is the Black intellectual circle, Bakari. This is what I got a problem with. Like, yo, I don't even understand. Like, it's always been like, yo, this, like, you know, like people will be like, yo, the Boule now, you know what I'm saying? This all I'm pointing out, like, now, like, is it going to take us 20 years for our kids to be like, oh, that was the whatever they call themselves, the new Boule, you know what I'm saying? Like, these are the problems that's you know what I'm saying? Like, that you got to weed out. That's all I'm saying. Like,
That's a young dude, man. Ain't that a young dude by your
It is. He's a product of the old civil rights movement and the Boule system of your generation. He's a product of.
No, no, I ain't gonna let you do that. I ain't gonna let you do that for. You just got to take that L. Ain't that what you like to say?
He not my generation. He got gray hair.
That's your generation.
Nah, my generation. Ain't nobody in my generation got gray hair yet.
Look, man.
But this brother here is y'all generation that y'all still holding on to. What's his name? The dude that did all them civil rights marches and stuff like this. This is who y'all fighting for. So I'm like, that's why I'm like baffled right now that y'all coming at me to protect like these kind of people, like Henry Louis Gates and them kind of people. You know what I'm saying? Like, man,
I don't protect Henry Louis Gates.
I ain't got no gray hairs, Buwana.
I don't protect Henry Louis Gates. I don't protect nobody shitting on black children either. It don't make a difference. It don't make a difference who they. It don't make a difference who they are or where they at. You take a dump on. You take a dump on you. I have a problem. I have a big problem with that.
Okay. I feel you. So this is taught at Morgan State, another HBCU, Bakari. You know what I'm saying? I ain't say all of them, but that is like several. It's like 3 HBCUs taught here. Like this one is teaching we all humans. This one teaching people of color. We all love each other. And this one teaching Marxists calling us N-words was out of context. It's all love. You know what I'm saying?
Hey, you know what? I can also introduce you to some of them 19, 20-year-olds that say they believe in socialism too.
Maybe.
Yeah,
because maybe is they from HBCUs?
That same bullshit right there.
Is they from HBCUs?
Yeah, they go to HBCU.
Man. Oh, that's now we're starting to get to what I've been talking about. Because why in the hell is you teaching this in class? Because this is really my problem. Why?
Well, actually, none of them even take that in class. They study it on their own. They say socialism is a better system than capitalism.
Usually the HBCU students, right? No, believe me, they are getting that Garvey. I mean, not Garveyism, but W.E. Du Boisism in their systems, my brother. You know what I'm saying? I hate to break it to you. That's all I'm calling out. You feel me? Like this is the intellectual BS that I'm calling out.
So bad about W.E. Du Bois. I'm just bullshit.
No, I ain't talking bad about. I wouldn't talk bad about no ancestors. You know what I'm saying? But
I don't already whoop you and Shanique.
Yeah, I know you're gonna run now. Yeah, I know.
You done, ain't Shanique? See that? I done made her quit.
Nah, now that you see what I'm talking, we done went through an hour and a half for nothing.
Don't come for me, Bakari. I can't go to the bathroom. Okay. I don't even know what you said. They step away for a second and they still coming for your neck.
Hey, Shanique, I'm glad you on the panel. You make it fun. I'm glad you up here. I'm glad your husband in the chat talking noise.
Yes, big up to Everett. I see you, baby.
I'm glad he in the chat talking noise because every time you say something, I'm responding.
Well, great.
But
Then he's engaged.
So now watch this, right? So this is what you're gonna have to do. This is my take, right? I'm an absolute believer in radical change, right? But I think in order to have that radical change that we're looking for at HBCU, I think we're gonna have to go. And what I mean by go is, shit, man, some of these open campuses, man, we're gonna try to say, go up there and talk to some of the youth, see what they talking about. Because one thing for sure, they ain't gonna put us in algorithm. They're not gonna put us in algorithm where students at the campus gonna see this. But I saw what some students were showing me. I ain't gonna call this woman name on here, but the stuff they was pushing, abort black male babies, folks was having big conversations about that at the HB. None of them was agreeing with it, but they in such algorithm. Our youth don't need to hear nothing like that. Abort black male babies, but this folks I'm talking about that I've heard at HB, yeah, man, this real big. She real big, man. Don't nobody want to hear that. And what they're pushing divestment. And the person that started that divestment, by the way, they did go to what she say, the University of Washington.
Hey, Bakari, because Bawanda hanging on every word that you say, so I mean, he gonna go down with you with this one question, right? Now, if Cynthia G was a professor at an HBCU teaching that, would you still support her if I said something about it?
Cynthia G?
Yeah.
Would I support? No, why would I support?
If she's a professor at HBCU.
No, we don't have to worry. We don't have to worry about that. She's better than black people.
Huh?
We don't have to worry about that. She thinks she's better.
Well, let's suppose that we all were that she became because obviously a white girl can become a professor at a HBCU, so we don't know what could happen. You know what I'm saying? Like, let's suppose would you like if I'd be like, yo, we need to get teachers like Cynthia G who teaching this anti-black male stuff at an HBCU out of here. Would that mean that I'm like all HBCUs bad and I'm like, you know?
No, because you done pointed out the one person that's doing it.
Oh, just sort of like I'm pointing out the people who's doing it, but then you came on here and say I'm saying all. But if I had did it about Cynthia G, then you would have understood.
Because you didn't say, yeah, this is a professor from Morgan State or Howard or Alcorn.
I did that. You know they're from Morgan State because I said it.
Or Virginia State. I just thought it was that one dude at the end from all of them from Morgan State.
No, I said the other. I said the two because I didn't want to disrespect the elderly ones. You know what I'm saying? But they teach at HBCUs though. That's what I was saying. That was my whole point, and you just jumped on blindly defending all of this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Just like you would for Cynthia, because she could have literally been saying what Cynthia G said, and you like, you saying HBC when I'm talking about like, yo, we need to look at this kind of curriculum at HBCUs, and you just jumped on defending it, not even knowing. I
defend the HBCUs. I don't defend no person. I just told you why I defend it.
So if it was Cynthia G at an HBCU, you would defend it.
When I said how people can lie on HBCUs like that, nobody said, yeah, that need to be stopped. You see how that works?
What needs to be stopped?
Guy, you there? You allowing somebody? It was a murder.
Yeah, I want to ask Forecast a question though. So Forecast, will you allow? And I'm gonna ask the sister the same question. Will you allow your kids to be taught by what's her name, Mitchie X, the mulatto?
No, I wouldn't. But
why not? Why not? She's pro-black.
She's not black though.
But I know, but she speaks pro-black, even though she's a mulatto.
That's fine, but she's not black though.
So you won't not let her teach your babies to be pro-black.
Hey, look, y'all got look. Talking about y'all just got because I said with the cookout, I didn't even let her come to the cookout, and you, Bakari Law, had a heart attack about that.
Wait a minute, I'm confused. Wait a minute, I'm confused.
No, I'm confused. Would you let Mitchie X teach your kids? Because y'all was so fighting for.
No, well, I don't deal with mulattoes. I know.
But you and Bakari got mad when I said.
No, I don't deal with mulattoes.
But when I talked about the cookout thing, you and Bakari got mad. How could you not let them come to your cookout? Like it's all love and we love each other.
We're not talking about the cookout. We're not talking about that. We're talking about would you allow Mitchie X?
No, I would not. No, I would
not.
What
about the sister on the panel? I know she would do it.
I would. You funny. So you saying she teach at the regular school district? Is that what you're talking about? Who's it? Who's
Are
this?
do you know who Mitchie X is, right?
I think I know who you're talking about. I've maybe
She's the
seen one.
she's the mulatto chick that always cursing and every word that comes out
Heavy
of her mouth
set,
is
light skin, heavy
yeah,
set,
yeah,
red
heavy
braid.
set, yeah. She's a little chunky.
Okay, I've seen her. No. See, she's not a teacher in school, but sadly, I don't control all the
No,
teachers
I know.
in
I
my
said, would
children's
you allow
school.
her? No, I didn't mean to cut you off, sis. I said, would you
No,
allow
God.
her to? Huh?
Like, will allow her on my own. Like, oh, take my kids to be educated
No,
by
no.
her.
If you find out she was a professor at your school, and with the type of mouth that she is, and knowing that she's mulatto, would you allow her to teach? You rather allow her to teach your kids?
No, that makes no sense. No,
But
that
she's teaching
would make no sense
pro-black.
for me to
She's
do.
pro-black.
She.
Yeah, but she's
I'm sorry. She is. I don't know who thinks.
Rachel
I don't know.
Dolezal was pro-black, and she got a
Yeah.
scholarship to HBCU. So, and y'all said we shouldn't say nothing about that. We got to be quiet. Sorry, Shanique.
Oh, she didn't have no
I'm sorry.
scholarship. She didn't have no scholarship.
Well, she did something. She
Wasn't
was
she a professor? She was like the dean of something.
She was in some kind. She got something.
Yeah, she had a high position.
She sued him
Black
for racial.
studies.
She sued him for racial. She sued him for racial discrimination. It's part of the
After
reason
they
why
removed her, correct?
No, that's how they did that. That's how she was able to get in and get a position. She sued for racial discrimination. Yeah.
Oh my lord.
Yeah, and I don't think she is pro-black. You know what I'm saying? I
That's
don't
how
think
she-
she
Hey,
says
but see,
pro-black.
let me ask you a question. I honestly believe you and your husband do this anyway, right? So yes or no, right? For the person. Do you and your husband go to the PTA meetings?
Yes.
Okay, how many other black people you see there? Be honest.
You funny because I just told y'all.
And I ain't trying to insult, but no, because I know you're not the only black person live in Arizona. It's not that many.
No, I'm not. But okay. I'm not gonna lie. So when I've gone, I was the only one there.
Okay.
And that's not because there aren't other black students. There are a handful, but the other black parents may have had to work because it's a working class community. So I'm not gonna say they didn't show up. I don't know.
No, and that's in the point that I'm getting ready to make, right? I wasn't trying to say nothing about the black parents. The point that I'm getting ready to make is, for me, right? I said that would be one of our problems when we don't go and we don't know what's going on, like going to the city council meetings and going to the PTA meetings and talking and knowing what's going on in your schools. And if we don't know what's going on there, we can't change it. And that's the only reason. That's
Bakari, do you know if there is not Michi X, but a person like Michi X teaching at Jackson State? Do you know?
No, I don't. No, I have no idea if there's a white person or mulatto.
Would you? So if there was, and I said, "Yo, this person needs to get out of Jackson State," would you come on here defending that too?
Would I come on here defending it? I don't have to defend
and
it.
all of the people going down with you and you tonight.
I'm going to show you would say they need to leave. I would say they need to leave.
But come on, no, we need to say, oh no, all black HBCUs don't do this. All HBCU, no, like that's what you'll do.
Oh man, I got a phone call.
I know. All right, man. So Bakari gonna run from that. You know what I'm saying? Yo, guy, would you do you know of Amici? Yo, guy, do you know of Amici X is teaching at Short Kids School?
No. You hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. No, I don't know any mulattoes that teaches in my kids' school. No.
Okay, all right. But if so if there was, should I be able to say something about it?
Of course. If you disapprove of it, yeah, of course.
Right, but wouldn't you be like, yo, they're just going to school just to learn though, right? So it shouldn't matter who their teacher is, they're just going to learn skills and it don't matter though, right?
I think that, like I said, I'm gonna say this again. I think as far as us, I think there's enough of us to teach our kids about whatever they need to know, whether it's plumbing, being an electrician, or being dealing with nutrition or being a doctor. I think we have enough, even law school, we have enough of our people to teach whatever our kids need to learn. I don't think we need to. I think there should be a decree of where that we do not allow our enemies to teach our children anything. So I think that I will have to say that, you know what I'm saying? I have to stand on that. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not, because, you know, we too smart. Our people are very intelligent. And when I'm sick and tired, every time we get knowledge, we have to give it to another race of people. And that's wrong. I don't like that. You know, we give our best to other races of people who don't like us. So, you know, we need to stop doing that. And that's what I see all the time.
Yeah, that's facts. That's facts, my brother. I agree with that. You know, Bakari ran on that one, you know what I'm saying? Shanique, you want to say something?
Y'all got me speechless. Like, I run out of words. I really think I have. I think we need to take more control of the education of our children, most definitely. I don't think, though, bringing it right back around circle, I guess I'm not out of words, that we need to not talk about no one is off limits when they're in our inner circle. You clean your house, you don't not clean your house. You know, you talk about your house. But maybe we should be mindful of the fact that negative statements, truthful as they may be, can color the public opinion and thereby make people not go to or patronize these institutions. However, you got to draw a line somewhere. So, I mean, if it gets egregious, then we got to say something. So, are they perfect? No, HBCUs aren't perfect, but we do need to hold our educational institutions to a high standard when it comes to at least educating us about, and our children about, the things that are most pertinent to us. Because as the brother mentioned earlier, George Washington and knowing about him, yeah, although it's good information, it's great. I'll probably get a good question on Jeopardy one day. But the point is that it won't help me to be a better Black woman or my sons to be better Black men. So if they know about Carver, if they know more than just about George Washington Carver, but about really pertinent people that, honestly, I really feel like the people that they don't want to tell our children about in these institutions, both HBCUs and others, are the individuals that really have sparked the change. And this February is coming. So I want to hear how many times we hear about the Nat Turners of the world, or the uprisers, or the various ones who started things that weren't just peaceable. That's okay. We've got to get beat upside the head just another round to make sure that they split it open just right. I really think we have to hear about the people that were revolutionary, whether it be in the things that they wrote or the things that they did, but that they sparked change, because that's what we as a people need. We need change. We haven't received very much change thus far. In my opinion, the change really, I know a lot of people going to disagree with me on this, but the change comes from a spiritual perspective, because I believe we are physical and spiritual, and the spiritual perspective it's in the Bible. It is. And I know y'all come from a place, most people come from a place of old church and religion. I don't believe that. I believe that book is ours. I believe that it applies to us. And the scripture says, my people who are called by my name will humble themselves, seek my face, repent, then he would turn back to them and hear their prayers. And I'm giving you verbatim. That's not exact, but that's what I believe. So that on a whole scale is how I feel like we need to really collectively get together, make sure that we know what it is that we need in order to make a difference. And that's both on an educational level, a spiritual level, a spiritually educated level, like all of that, so that we can make some difference, because otherwise we'll just find a new spot to be beaten in for another round of marches, which is ridiculous.
Yeah, so Shanique, let me ask you one last question, and then I'm gonna let Guy go, and then we will close out and stuff. So let me ask you this: do you think that the youth will be more inspired if we hold our institutions like more accountable, for like certain things, like not tear them down or try to act like we're tearing them down or try to say that we're tearing them down when we do try to hold them accountable? Or, if we just like sweep it under the rug, what do you think that'll inspire? Which one you think will inspire the youth more? You know what I'm saying?
The truth of the matter is, this youth, if there's anything they recognize, it's disingenuous behavior. So if we think that we can just pretend and not do what we're saying, not hold people accountable, then they'll just call us out on being a bunch of hypocrites. And nothing will change, and they'll just look at us like, oh, look at them, they've done nothing and they expect so much. So yeah, we have to hold them accountable. I'm sure that we can have a discourse with them. I'm sure that we can create platforms and different ways to put out there that, oh, we're holding our own groups accountable, but that does not mean we need to not patronize them. That does not mean we need to not build them up and support them and donate and all those things. But it does mean that whenever there is a new board member being voted in, that those who are alumni at a school need to show up and hold them accountable and look at their record and say, what have you done and what's going on? Yeah, that's important. I think that's important. Any company has to show at the end of the cycle what they've done. And if they've not given any profits, then we got to move things around.
All right, yeah, go ahead, guy. Well, my bad, I didn't mean to cut you off, my brother.
No, you good. You good. No, I agree with the sister. I just think that constructive criticism is well needed. I mean, you definitely got to look at it as like a business. Once you find out the problem is, then you mention the solution. So we definitely, there's nothing wrong with constructive criticism, and like I said, it's how you approach the problem. So you don't come on there with no, oh, you need to do like demand, and you just like let them know, here's the situation, this is the result, and this is the reason why we got this issue. So you have to explain why, you have to explain to them a way where they can understand, oh, okay, yeah, you're right, that is a problem. So yeah, I definitely agree. I just think that we have to we can't lie. I don't think we should be lying or give people some feel good stuff to make so they can walk around thinking that everything they do is perfect. You know what I'm saying? No, you just have to say, no, we got to teach them the truth. And I think that's one of the reasons why, the problem that when I was growing up, one of my criticism as far as the elders was they kept a lot of information from us, saying things that we needed to know. And that's the reason why, we grow up. It's like this, damn, this racism. I didn't, well, why is white people don't like us? You know what I'm saying? And that's how I was growing up. You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't know, like, well, what's going on? And why they doing this? Until I was old enough to understand. I'm like, oh, okay. You know what I'm saying? But that should be, to be honest with you, that should have been taught in schools too as well. You know what I'm saying? Because being that I'm living in Harlem, in the Mecca, that should have been, well, we should have just been like, yo, fuck it. You know what I'm saying? But like you said, Forecast, when there are, when black people don't have no control of anything, then it's more like everything's on a hush hush. You know what I'm saying? Or everything got to be underground. So yeah, so I agree with the sister though.
Yeah, man, and I appreciate y'all. Bakari ran. He left Buwana, everybody on the side. Yo, Raw. All I gotta do is ask Raw what's the answer, and she gonna put it in the chat. She already know the answer, but she left them hanging.
I want to ask Shanique a question. So if your son went to an all-white school, and just say you said that, oh yeah, I taught him about love himself and all this other stuff, right? So he goes to an all-white school, and he brings home a mulatto woman that's like, you know, Mitchie X, and she's pro-black. Will you accept her?
You know what? I haven't. I'm gonna go in the Bible with that because see, you say mulatto, and the scriptures call him a strange child. Okay, so she really, the scriptures talk about people, and this is what I follow and direct my children to. That we are the children of the book. So us being the children of the book, we are told in the scripture that we cannot marry other nations. So she would fall into a combination, a mix-up, a mashup, a strange child. So no, that's not someone I'd be happy about. At the end of the day, he's got to live his life, but he got to take that up with the Most High Yah, not me. I'm not going to be pleased, and he'll know that. I think they already know that, but they also have to take it up with the Most High Yah.
So here's the question I want to ask you, right? So just say if he did, right? Or he married a pro-black white girl, right? So
is that a thing? Is that a thing?
Wait a minute, because you got some white girls that love black men too. You know what I'm saying? So they say. So wait a minute. So he comes home with a Rachel Dole, right? So he's like, oh man, I love her, this and that. You will still love your son, right?
I'm not gonna not love my son. I'm not gonna think that he listened at all to what I tried to teach him. And I'm really going to be more concerned with his soul because the scriptures completely forbade it. It says
but forget about all that. Forget about his soul. But she'll still come to the house. She'll come to the Thanksgiving dinners and all that stuff.
I don't have Thanksgiving.
Am I right? Because that would be his wife.
No, I don't have Thanksgiving.
The cookout.
He shows up with his wife. I'm not disrespectful. I'm not rude. I'm not going to be that person.
You accept it.
But he knows how I feel. No, he knows how I feel. There's no acceptance. I speak to people every day. I'm not rude to anyone. I'm not going to accept that. They all know that. They give me grief right now because I have some adult children right now, and they're like, "Mom, well, you would be this way, and you're racist." No, I'm not racist. I just know what the scriptures say. And if they hadn't said that,
wait a minute. I'm a little confused. So you're saying that she'll still come to the cookout, but you wouldn't like it.
Now,
I'm not having no cookouts.
Now, Shanique, I got your back because he came trying to help Bakari because he saw Bakari believe.
Wait, but she confused me. She confused me, brother Bakari.
Now, Shanique,
I see you.
Now, Shanique,
I see you.
Ask him would he allow his biracial kid, parent or person to come to his cookout, and why? So the answer you get
is what? Would you?
Who, me?
Yeah.
No. Well, my kids already know where I stand. I would disown them.
How do your kids already know you stand? Mine know too.
No, seriously, I would disown them.
You disown them?
Yes. That's how I grew up. That's what my mother told me. And she said that, you know, she just because what she's been through, what our ancestors went through. So I have to follow that. And now I understand what she's saying. So if my mother told me that white boys white kids used to sick dogs on her.
Mm-hmm.
So hearing that, you know, and my daughter going out with a white guy and all that, marrying a white guy, nah, you can't. I can't fuck with you no more. And that's just where I stand now. It will hurt me, but I just have to, you know, it hurt me more that she didn't marry somebody that looked like her father.
Man. Oh man. Now Bakari, so Bakari, you hear that now, Bakari, right? Because I agree with Guy. You can't come to the cookout. Your biracial friend can't come to the cookout. You know what I'm saying? So
my biracial friend probably wouldn't go to your cookout.
He'd probably be on the grill at yours.
Can you hear me?
Y'all wrong.
But I'm glad at least the sister's admitting she even though she won't like it, she will still come to the house. The white wife will still come to the house. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, this is where we're different.
That's good. That's because you doing the biblical way. You're doing the Bible way. Jesus loved
No. I see you. I still see you. Okay. This is funny because listen, I If you want to read scripture, okay, our people have been around all kinds of people. We have to treat all people. It says, be kind to the stranger if it is within your
You hear
power.
him, Brother
I'm not gonna be
Ricard?
nasty to anybody.
You
I'm not
hear
gonna be
him?
nasty to anybody.
Hey, can y'all hear me?
Okay.
Yeah, I hear you.
No,
Big
I
dog.
don't. Go
Oh,
ahead.
y'all can hear me now?
Yeah, I hear
Hey,
you.
look, forecast, my biracial friend probably wouldn't come to your cookout because she ain't done your biracial friend. She my biracial.
And she gonna be working. She gonna be cooking the hot. And she gonna look. Watch this, because she gonna be cooking the hot dogs at yours.
No.
But that's your friend.
Oh, she gonna be cooking the chillings at yours.
She can't cook. She can't cook.
Oh, so she gonna be eating the hot dogs at yours. I got you. She ain't gonna contribute nothing. She's just gonna be taking from it. I got you.
And she gonna eat the chitlins too. You can cook chitlins a lot
Can I
different
ask
ways.
a question now?
Go ahead.
Okay, so my question is this. So do we all not interact with non-black people ever?
No, that ain't no. I have look. One thing I hated, and it took a long time. Me and my oldest son really just started again in about a year or so ago, because he got a white one. I don't ever bring that white bitch back to my motherfucking house no more. And I said it just like that to him. Fuck that bitch. But that's my son, and I love my son, and and I love my grandkids. So I deal with my grandkids, and I deal with my son, and yeah, he'll bring that. And I don't do that no more because there's my grown son, and I don't want to be disrespectful to him. But he already know it's certain places and certain things that I do when we go down to certain black meetings and get together. He know, even though he say he want to go, he know he can't go.
Okay.
But everybody deal with non-black people. It's impossible.
Exactly.
It's impossible to live in this country and not deal with non-black people. I just operate out of respect. If they respect me, long as they don't get this. Yeah.
So then that's my point. My point is I can believe fully how I believe, and I have to deal with people all the time who don't look like me. And that doesn't mean that I have to say, if you needed a drink of water, which by the way, there's a law in this state that you cannot deny someone water because it's Arizona. If you needed a drink of water, I would give you a drink of water. Black, white, Indian, Chinese, whatever.
So what you're saying is if you didn't give Billy Bob some water, you could go to jail?
There's a law that says if they knock on your door, if they knock on your door, Arizona gets to 110, 120. It's inhumane to not give people water, but I digress. My point is,
so in other words, sister, you will really feel sorry for that white man.
Yeah, I might be like,
it's not about feeling sorry. It's about
thirst.
I give dogs water for goodness sake.
No, we're not talking about dogs. We're
Yeah,
talking about a white man.
I might
the
be like
big
my water.
bad white man.
She don't want to pay
Esau. They call Esau, right?
Nah,
and you
see,
will feel sorry for him, where you go out your way and give him some glass of water so he can live.
He came to my door. He came to my door. I'm not talking about going out my way. If someone comes to your door, that's what they're stating as a law. My point is, I see people on the side of the road begging for change. If they need water, it's 120 degrees. I'm not that person that's not going to give them water. Now, maybe other people are wicked and they've done wicked things to us, but that's not me.
So how many white homeless people that you gave money to?
I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. I couldn't tell you. But I also, but believe you me, I pray before I give anybody money because I'm not trying to be a party to their sins. So I don't know what they're doing. So I answer to the Most High. I answer to him first. And I'm humane to everybody.
Now, Shanique, I would say this though. I would be like, oh, my water got cut off this month. You know what I'm saying? I don't, you know what I'm saying? But that's another thing. But
you're wrong.
Yo, go ahead, Bukar.
I got this old neighbor, this white dude. He's about 70 something. His wife passed away like a year or so ago, and she was old too. And she couldn't like a lot of times she had nerve problems. She like sometimes she just fall down. Man, that old frail man couldn't pick up that woman, and for some strange reason, he picked me. Will you help me pick my wife up out the floor? What you mean about the floor? She will always fall down. So did I go help that old man pick his wife up off the floor. Yeah, I went and helped that old white man pick his wife up off the floor. Oh, yeah.
And what's wrong with that?
So basically, it sounds like to me, black folks gotta always gonna have a soft spot for white people, right?
It does sound
A
that way,
soft
guys.
spot?
It does
I'm the
sound that way a
salt of
little
the
bit.
earth. I'm the salt of the earth.
It does sound a little bit that way.
Watch this. That dude paid me every time I went down there. I told him, look, man, you got to. That dude, he would pay me to go down there, but I can
Yeah,
also
Man, take that money, man. Take that money.
But watch this. I can
I
also
see how we
watch
got
this.
colonized, man. Lord
watch
have
this.
mercy.
I can also tell you. I can also tell you this, right? When I had my junk business, where I still do it, throw away people junk. When it came to people where I live to pay me and wanted to hire my business, it was that old white man that would pay me double what I asked.
Hey, Bakar, you know what's crazy, right? If this was like 1400s, you would be saying the same story in Swahili right now, and then not even realize that why you ended up talking English today. You know what I'm saying?
You know what? Possibly, but I can say this: that same old white man pay me double what black folks pay me for doing the same. Matter of fact, it was some black folks I helped.
Lord.
It's some black.
Matter of fact, you telling the story in English today. In 20 years, you're gonna be telling us English and Mandarin. You're gonna be saying this in Mandarin in 20 years.
So Shanique, I'm gonna show you something, right? You see how he got a problem with HBC, but he don't want me to tell the truth about this business. Because I talk about school, because school is a business too. He want to talk over that business part. See how everything I talk, even when I talk about HBCUs,
not the business part, the white boy part.
I said, and I'm talking about the ones that paid my business.
When we talk about HBCU business, you saw how I let you speak for like 30 minutes, but then as soon as you like, oh, this white boy treated me so good and all of this stuff, and then you were telling the same story in Swahili in 1432, and now today.
See, why is it so watch this? So the thing about me is, right, I ain't gonna deny what I do, and I ain't gonna deny who when it come to this here. And where I live is about 85 to 90% black. But I can say the ones where I live, who chose my business for the things that I do, and even if they live not too far away, I gave them a discount. I've seen a lot of those same people would rather pay white folks and Mexicans than pay me.
We doomed, y'all.
So you're right. We are doomed. You can say we doomed. I can see and understand business, and I see how stuff works. I'm just telling you what I saw, what I experienced in business here.
All right, Bakari, I'm gonna get into my time machine and listen to this in Mandarin in 20 years, because this is exactly how that happened the last time. You know what I'm saying? Oh, the white man came in and he taught me about Jesus, and he taught me about I can make some of the money, and he got his face on it, and he paid me double than these Negroes was paying me. So forget this tribe. I know the white man is good. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna get it. I'm gonna stop right there. Go ahead.
But forecast. Let me say this though. I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
I should have robbed him. See, and that's why, you know what? That's why Black Business Challenge is so important. And the only thing I'm saying, see, forecast them don't like to talk about their part. They don't like to talk about their.
We talk about the black business part, just not the white man's business, the white man's ISIS colder part. We just leave that part out from the HB. That's probably what you learned from HBCUs right there, though, Bakari. That's probably what's going on right there.
I don't know if his ice was colder, because I ain't getting no ice, didn't drink nothing, I ain't do none of that. But I know his money was greener because he gave it to me and the other ones didn't. I'm just saying.
Well, I will say this: if it's business, it's business, right? We that's separate. I mean, we're not talking about. To me, I'm not talking about business. I'm talking about some poor ass white person begging me for money. And you know what I say to them? You had a 400-year head start. You ain't poor. Get away from me.
I've never given a homeless white person. I've never given a homeless white person money. And I'm gonna tell you something. It's an insult to me when I see how black people would look at black people. And I ain't knocking Shanique because she did. What I'm saying is, I have literally seen black people ride past, won't give. It's this one brother. You can tell something is wrong with him, but me and him cool. He always come talk to me, a black guy. He always come, and I go get him breakfast, and we'll sit out there and talk. But you can tell something is a little wrong with him. But I see how the black people treat him, and then I see how they treat them homeless white folks that come, because white folks know if they come to the black neighborhood.
Hey, Bakari, you can't say this because people won't want to join the black neighborhood. They be like, "Oh, black is bad." If you say something negative about black people,
They know they gonna get money when they come to the black neighborhood. So it's this one white woman, she be sitting up there with her kids. I was like, "You can't get no job." She was like, "Well, didn't nobody hire me." I said, "All you got to do is just keep on praying, believe in Jesus, and you know that money gonna come in your pocket."
yeah. And let me say this, y'all. It's not about that. It's the religion that they, beat into our heads that somebody else. I do got a problem with if you believe somebody else that's outside of yourself is gonna come save you. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be the one that save yourself, and that's why we have these conversations so we can save ourselves, and not worry. Just do the stuff that we got to do. So you know what I'm saying. But yo, we do gotta wrap it up soon. I ain't even wanted to be this long, but Bakari was insisting on, like, yo, you're gonna have to update.
This was a good show for guys. I really had a good time.
Yeah, definitely. I appreciate you coming on, guy. Yeah, definitely a good perspective. But watch this though, yo. So, because Bakari didn't let everybody in the cookout, y'all both didn't let people in the cookout, and then gonna come back and say, I ain't gonna, you know what? I'm gonna let y'all off the hook. I'm gonna let them off the hook, Shanique. You know what I'm saying? They cut themselves enough for the night. You know what I'm saying? So, Lord have mercy.
I'm sorry. This was a good show.
They can come to my personal cookout, my mulatto.
Mulatto cookout.
and you don't think this is how you got conquered the first time, right? Because your weakness, you know what I'm saying, thinking the white man's ice is colder, or did you learn that from the HBCU when they taught that as Black Power?
You say how they got conquered the first time, or the same?
Us.
The same way they can get conquered right now. Some people came in with guns and bullets, and they didn't have them. Just like today, some people got guns and bullets, and most black folks don't have guns.
That's not true, Bakari.
And most black folks don't have guns and bullets.
That's not true, Bakari, because most of the time they had bigger weapons and then more weapons, and they still had to ask for a treaty because they was losing. You know what I'm saying? But it was like like just an example of how Toussaint wanted to be a Frenchman. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is the kind of issue that we always had. Like, oh yeah, well, we can just let anybody. We didn't start this war. Like, I'm not gonna be mad at us from 400 years ago, but I am like questioning us today because we've seen the same thing play out over and over and over. You know what I'm saying?
Got guns and bullets to protect themselves. Black folks don't. Black men. So I want to be specific because there'll be way more black women at the range than black men. There's way more black men I talk to who don't want a gun or who don't have a gun than black women. Now that's my personal experience.
So it's illegal for us to buy guns, is what you're saying?
No, y'all just
because that's what you blaming it on.
I said black folks just don't buy none. I didn't say nothing about it illegal.
I'm talking about the mentality, Bakari. You just went to like something else. You know what I'm saying?
No, I said they conquered then the same way they can conquer now. They got guns and bullets.
But they got your mind. They got your mind is how they conquered you, not just the guns and bullets. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
No, they got your mind because of their guns and bullets.
They got your mind because they got your schools, Bakari. That's why.
They got your mind because of guns. No, they had your mind way before you had a school. They got your mind because
I know they gave you the schools.
They got your minds because of guns. Yeah, I know you're a reparationist, so I know you should be okay with them giving you something. So so you should be okay with that.
Yeah,
so,
if they give it to me, not a mulatto, they got to give it to me, not a mulatto person. You know what I'm saying?
No, but you say how we got conquered.
Oh, I forgot you invite them to the cookout. You welcome them to your family. Oh yeah, that's right. I'm sorry.
The same way we can get conquered now, if most of them chose. Black folks don't have guns. See, they avoid that conversation. I talk about black men don't have guns and bullets to protect themselves. They don't want to talk about that.
Hey, Bakari, let me ask you a question real quick. Do you think that more black men would do that if they taught about that kind of stuff in HBCUs? Like if We Will Shoot Back was in the curriculum, you think it would have an effect and more black men would do that?
Hello? If they taught that at HBCUs, no, people your age now.
Okay.
Y'all just don't.
I disagree with that. I disagree. If you're not taught about it, you don't know about it. You know what I'm saying? I disagree. I think if you taught about it, you would.
So black folks, mama and daddy just ain't gonna teach them nothing. They just mama and
They
daddy.
don't. They can't teach what they don't know.
They can teach about a gun and bullet.
Yeah, but I mean, most black people ain't doing that. But and they not taught that they fought back.
Yeah, but forecast.
What we want to do is
cut you off,
blame other folks and start, and we don't want to say, well, you right, we do need more guns and bullets. We want to look and point the finger and say that person is the reason I don't have one. You can go get you a good right now, a Taurus G2C with the laser already on it. Go to the range and go to the range and get it sighted. You can get that gun for about $250, brand new right now, 9mm. Don't get no 380 because they ain't got no bullets. Get you a 9mm right now. Get you some hollow points and get you some full metal jackets. Keep hollow points in your clip. You go to the range with the full metal jacket. If you want to know why you need hollow points, I'll tell you why you need the hollow point. I'm telling you what you can go
Don't forget
right
the
now.
bulletproof jackets too, vests and all that.
Yeah, Bakari, you read We Will Shoot Back, didn't you?
Yeah, I also
Guess
grew up
what?
in
They ain't teaching that in your damn son's school, so he ain't know nothing about what you talking about. He know it because of you told him that, but he don't know nothing about fighting back or none of that kind of stuff. Guess what? All that was for
I
nothing.
ain't had to wait to go to college for somebody to tell me that. I grew up in a house with guns and bullets.
Exactly. Do you think most of us are though, Bakari? Do you think most of us are? And that's the problem.
So
Not
that
few
ain't,
of
so
us.
the point that I'm making is that ain't nobody else's fault if black folks today don't want guns and bullets to protect yourself.
But would you say it's our fault we don't teach about things like Robert F. Williams? Was that our fault?
That's our fault if we don't teach it at home.
Right. So you agree with me after all. Thank you.
That's our fault if we don't teach it at home. See, if I hadn't taught my kids, if I didn't teach my children, I'm gonna wait to them to go to a school to learn everything. Then I have failed my children.
Well, my moms don't know about it, so she couldn't teach me about it. You know what I'm saying?
No, but I'm talking about right now. You know about getting guns and bullets, but what you're doing, making excuses why we ain't got none.
No, who said no? As a collective, you know what I'm saying? I'm just asking you, would it have an effect? I disagree, but go ahead, guy.
But my question I want to ask, how come our grandparents and our great grandparents and all, you know, they know about racism, they know about what white people have done to them, they know about the anti-black laws and all that, so they already know. Black people already know what the enemy is. But I think what happens is that some of, you know, I think it's just that nice soft spot that most of our people have for the enemy. Like they're afraid of, you know, hurt them. You know what I'm saying? And that's the problem. And you know, I think they know. They do know. They know to strap up, but you know, they just feel like they can change people. Some black people think they can change white people to be good and to be good to them.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of people feel like that. But all right, so yeah, we gotta close out. But you say you had a question, you know, that's what you wanted to say.
Yeah, I think that the question I want to ask is that why is black folks still trying to basically trying to reform white folks when they cannot be reformed? Like you can't, just like Hillary Clinton said, and she was right about, she said you can't change hearts. In other words, you can't change her heart. You know what I'm saying? And you know, and I think a lot of black people, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to change white folks' hearts to love them. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's my question is, why is black people still doing that? Why they playing dumb? Like, oh, you know, every white person is not racist, which is not true. Every white person is racist, even the so-called good ones. So I don't know.
Because I think a lot of people is teaching, and I'm not gonna put it on HBCUs, but including HBCU teachers, that they just want to be included and loved by everybody and love everybody. You know what I'm saying? And they teach that, you know, we are all human doctrine. You know what I'm saying? And I think that has infested, you know what I'm saying, all of our institutions. That's why we don't have none today, because we let our institutions get infested with that. And I think we should get it out, the one that we at least claim that we have, you know what I'm saying? We should get it out that. So, you know, because we teach that, you know what I'm saying?
But also, Forecast, you got to understand the Bible says that you got to love your enemies. You got to love them. So, you know, you as a Christian man, you got to love your enemy. You know, so if the white man comes and
Hey, God,
need money,
Revelations 13 and 10. Hey, Revelations 13 and 10, God. He who leadeth into captivity must go into captivity. He who killeth with the sword must be killeth with the sword. You know what I'm saying?
but the Jesus said, love your enemies. That's what he said. Love your enemies. Treat them as I treat you.
You know what? They say that. They say that, and that's in the book. I think because Jesus say love everybody. I ain't for sure about that. Jesus didn't love everybody.
No.
Jesus didn't love everybody. So a lot of stuff that religious people teach, a lot of them is scared doctrine. Just like a lot of people in the streets teach scared doctrine. Shit, listen to them folks in the so-called conscious community, which is
and
the
the
word
HBCUs too, Bakar.
I would never use to represent me. They can give you all this knowledge and all these books, but then they ain't gonna ever go to talking about fighting back. I had one dude, man, we talking. I had one dude, he just straight told me, as soon as I mentioned, he just cut me off in the middle of me talk. We need to get away from that. Ain't gonna be no armed revolution, and we can't win on armed revolution. I don't even know what black people talk about, and that's why when I said black people having guns, everybody ignored that. They ain't want to talk about that conversation.
Yeah, that's true. A lot of black people they hate they claim they hate the white man, so-called white man, whoever that is. But then when it comes down to bearing arms, oh, I can't do that because the Bible says shall not kill.
No, I ain't gonna let you put that on the Bible right there. Hell no. It's way more black. It's way so now this is anecdotal because it's me. I know way more Christians with guns and go train than non-religious people. Way more. I know way more Christians with guns.
Nah. Well, where I'm at, there's a lot of Christians they're scared. That must be where you at. But up here, shit, there's a lot of Christians they scared.
I said my evidence is anecdotal, but I'm just saying, oh man, that's just scared doctrine. It ain't just the Christians, the ones that ain't Christians. Y'all got guns and bullets, y'all want to go train. Let them first motherfucker. No, man, they don't need to do it. No,
Yeah, I think black people in general is scared. You know what I'm saying?
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead, Chanel.
Go ahead, sir.
I personally am not a Christian, but the scripture says that the Most High did not give us a spirit of fear, but a sound mind and power. So I don't think that being afraid should motivate you to do or not do, but I do think that having the tenets that the scriptures speak about should dictate how you behave and how you treat people. That's it.
Yeah, I believe that I like Ross said, an eye for an eye. You know what I'm saying? Like I'm sorry, you know what I'm saying? Like my hot dog, my white man chitlins is only for black people, you know what I'm saying, for the time being. And then once we get everybody straight, then okay, maybe, you know what I'm saying? But I do think that has been a little bit of a opening where people have exploited us, where we're like, well, you know, let's just treat them like, let's welcome them in. And then for some reason we don't do that with like people that look like ourselves, you know what I'm saying? Like even before this, with black people with other tribes would beef with some and be cool with some, but like when others came in, they showed them like humanity, and that humanity I think has, and people, and I know that I'm extreme when it comes to this. I think that the humanity in us, I'm not saying not be humane. I'm just saying be humane to yourself, and nobody, life or anything or any kind of existence is worth more than you and your own, you know what I'm saying? And you should put that above everything, you know what I'm saying, for what it's worth, you know what I'm saying? And if it compromises, you know what I'm saying, then the decision should be easy for you, you know what I'm saying? Like, and that's all I'm saying. Like, so, you know.
But the Bible also says a depressed man has a destructive heart. So you know, we always talk about how depressed we are, and the white man are oppressing us, but we ain't tearing shit up. We ain't trying to make you know, white folks' lives miserable. It seemed like to me we making their lives even more better. You know, so it's for people who are supposed to be so depressed. So I don't know.
Go ahead, Shanique.
I don't know, because you don't tend to go too much into Bible things on this channel. I don't want to go there, but it definitely a spirit, joy, love, peace, long suffering, mildness, goodness, kindness. Against these there's no law. I'm a believer in the law. I'm a believer that you have to rely on what the law says, and it does speak about a lot of things. And the brother, he's more in the Maccabees if you speak about what we need to be doing in terms of protection. But I feel like there is just a way to be, and you don't have to be immersed in living completely like everybody's at the cookout and the parties. That doesn't have to be a thing, but it doesn't mean I walk around with the mean mug at people because they white. I just don't. I'm not grinning and kikiing, but I'm not angry either. But I know, but I'm not clueless as to some of the things that were done. So I recognize where I should and should not go.
Yeah, and this is not, about nobody's religion. I respect everybody's, religion is, and like the only thing I say is like when you take the power, because we got to be the ones to change, But I get on that with everything, That's why I be messing with Bakari about his like biasness, if you even bring it up, And then but that's all. I ain't not to be on the religious thing, but like like I think that until we understand that we are all we got, then nothing is going to change. So so I'm gonna let y'all go ahead and go ahead, Shanique.
Okay. Well, yeah, no, for me, yeah, totally. I just it's funny because the other show you had the other day, I almost went there, but my phone wouldn't let me get in that last time. And I'm not a religious person. I don't think what I believe that me being the people of the book has to do with religion at all. It's about blood. It's about everybody's got a story in this world, and that's our story. That's specifically a certain bunch of Black people, not all Black people, but a certain bunch of Black people. And I happen to be one of those people. That's what I believe. And as far as how I conduct myself, I know that you have to conduct yourself the way that you have a code. Now, if everybody's got a code that's different, then live by it. I recognize that you have to live by some kind of code. That's all.
Yeah, I want to counter that real quick because because I don't know if the sister's a Hebrew Israelite or something like that, but even in the Bible says not to hate white people because they call white people Esau, and they said in the Bible, and I can prove it because I used to grow up as a Catholic, so I know the Bible very well. So in the Bible it says they told the Israelites do not despise Esau, because they're your brothers, they're family. So even the Bible tell you cannot hate them or do mean things to them. You know what I mean? Even though they do all this wicked stuff to you. So that's what I'm saying. I don't, like I said, it's I don't like, for me, I don't get into the, I get away from the Bible because it kind of it's a distraction to me. Because I had a lot of questions with that book. I didn't understand it. You know what I'm saying? And then I was told by the elders, like, oh, don't question God, and he knows what he's doing and all this other stuff. But it just, my spirit was like rejecting it. So that's the thing. And I see why a lot of Black people, that's what I see. I see why they cater to white folks in some sort of way.
All right. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Sorry.
But no, yeah, go ahead, because then we will close out after this.
Yeah. Okay.
And then we will close out.
All right. Just that the one thing is that for me, like, there's debatable amongst people who consider themselves to be Hebrew Israelites, but not everybody ascribes to the idea that white people are Esau. So if we're all, I ascribe to the idea that everybody on this planet looked like me initially. We were all different blood. That's what I believe. We all were Black. This other thing that's going on, it'd be forever to go into a whole big thing to explain it, but it definitely isn't. I don't think that's Esau. I don't want to go into it because it'll just be a lot. But yeah, I don't believe that.
Nah, yeah, it's all good. He was just deflecting to try to protect Bukhari because he saw Bukhari get cut up by us tonight.
Not protecting me, because sound like Shanique learned from the people from Morgan State and Bowie State, whoever you showed up there. That's
You wildin' out here.
Watch this.
Why
Y'all
you
talking
wildin' tonight?
about the HBCU, but she repeating it. Everybody was black. We just,
Yeah. Well,
see?
yeah.
So, so what's wrong with teaching that?
Nothing.
I'm just saying. So
You think?
what's
So you think a black institution should be teaching that, Bukhari? To get on record saying yes right now. A black institution.
I don't
a
believe
black college.
Me.
Black
I don't.
college.
Wait a minute. Me, I don't believe that. So no.
Right.
But she
So no,
believes.
the college should be not be
Yes.
teaching it.
She just said she believed in that.
So you
what-
trying? So are you
the
holding
black
her up
people-
to the same
so
standard
no,
as you
no,
do
no,
your
no,
professors
no,
in the
no,
HBCU,
no.
Bukhari?
I ain't gonna- Forecast, you can't do me like that. So watch this.
If
If
that's what you're doing.
if you believe in that, what's a problem with them teaching it? Me personally, I have a problem with it because I don't believe.
Because it's an institution.
I'm not. Okay. So institutions. If the institution
They
has
can't because you love PWI so much. Since you love PWI, they don't teach that on PWI. Since you love PWI so much.
Nope. So once again, Shanique, y'all can talk about it, but I'm just letting you know.
Well, they got religious courses though. That is wrong though.
What you talking about? That's what y'all believe. So it's okay. I'm just saying.
I didn't go to college for that though.
Right.
I didn't say what you went to college for. I ain't just saying. We
should be able to go.
If black people believe that, if black people believe that, and that
Some
should
of
be,
them.
and that should be empowering. Yeah, some of them, because I don't. But and that should be empowering. What's wrong with them teaching it if that's empowering?
So let's
What's
put it
wrong
in
with
Because it's an institution that includes a lot of other people, and you can't teach stuff like that there.
But they were just talking about they teach it at their school.
No,
So-
watch this, Shanique. Watch this. 'Cause since it don't matter.
if
So watch this. I'm gonna show you why, Bukhari. I'm answering your question. I'm gonna show you why. You don't want me to answer it?
If it's empowering,
I'm gonna show you why.
what's the problem with teaching? Because you just said you want them to empower the black children that go there. You want them to teach some strong stuff for black people. Empower them.
So they should have that. So they should have that course at HBCUs. You'd be cool with that?
So I don't believe that. So no.
You're saying no. You would not be cool with that, right?
I say because I don't believe it. I'm talking to
I know,
somebody.
it should not be called.
I'm talking
because you're
to
saying
somebody.
why should? So you're saying what's the difference? You saying what's the difference?
I'm talking to somebody who believe it. And the
Right.
black people that believe it.
You ain't
believe
talking to
it.
me. You don't want me to answer.
I don't know. Do you believe? Do you believe everybody on earth was
You don't
black?
want me- I don't think it should be taught in schools either.
That ain't what I asked.
And I think it's a difference. But your question, your question was.
Do you think everybody on earth was black?
No, I know.
See, so I'm talking to.
But you said,
But there are things that are empowering that have nothing to do with the fact that we all originated from a continent and we were all melanated. That idea is my own. But there are other things that black people can find to be empowering that are universally empowering for all people with melanin that don't have to do with just me, because I believe I'm an Israelite, not everybody. And I know that there are black people who are not Israelites by blood, not religion, by blood.
And what I said was, if that message is empowering, and if it's an empowering message, and they are teaching it, an empowering message to black children at an HBCU, why is that a problem?
It's not empowering to all black people at an HBCU, because not all black people fall into that category of the people that can benefit from that.
Yeah, I would be against. You're against it though, Bukhari. What are you talking about? Why would you ask? You would be against it.
I said because I don't.
It's not taught there though.
So you were just showing HBCU professors talking about that.
No, they wasn't talking about Israelites though in the Bible.
They were saying everybody was black.
One of them said that.
I ain't talking about.
The other professor disagreed. The other professor said, "Oh, Marxism is the way."
Yeah, what I'm saying is, I'm not talking about an Israelite. I'm not talking about being an Israelite. I'm talking about everybody being black.
It should not be taught in school though.
So the thing is, right? It's
The
a whole
problem-
lot of stuff.
No,
the
the
reason but the reason I believe that has a lot more to do with where my foundation is, and my foundation is biblical. Then you go down a rabbit hole that doesn't apply to everybody.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
I got
Bakari trying
you.
to.
It's a whole lot of folks who foundation that's not biblical that teaches that. There's a whole lot of black people.
Should it be taught? Should it be taught at HBCU?
It should no.
If
Should it
it's
be-
so okay,
should
so,
it
why,
be called
so,
out?
so what I'm saying is, so you shouldn't say
you
nothing
agree.
about so you shouldn't say nothing about an empowering message because you say they should teach we will shoot back. Some people might say that's not an empowering message.
But the empowering message I was talking about was the things that we have done in history, historic.
They have Africana studies that teach that. But now I digress.
Yeah, they do teach that.
Because yes, they do. I keep telling you. But anyway,
but you just got on here defending it too. But
no, I ain't talking about teaching everybody is black. I don't.
that's what you was defending this whole time.
I don't believe that because it's been HBCU professors that everybody love and I love her too. But it's things that's been taught in certain, but that I just don't believe, don't agree with. But I'm not gonna sit here and say, "Oh, should nobody ever repeat that?" I just don't believe certain things.
Right, but it's a difference between she's not in a classroom like like putting her like you know what I'm saying, you know, like I wouldn't agree with that, you know what I'm saying? I would say I wouldn't agree with that if she's in the classroom saying this. Like if the sister was on the platform just on YouTube saying that, I would just be like, "Oh, I disagree." I would debate her. But when
what's
she's
an
in
empowering message? So what would be an empowering message?
I would say
I just told you.
Ida B. Wells
sorry.
story.
Okay,
Marcus Garvey.
Why-
Garvey.
okay,
So you
okay.
can't so you can cut yourself Marcus Garvey story. How about that?
Marcus Garvey, and I love Marcus Garvey. I say the greatest leader ever walked the face of earth. Watch this. So at this moment, I'm gonna play devil advocate about people.
God, and I'm the anti-black one. You hear this, Ron?
No, I'm finished.
Because we gotta go, Bakari. You sure you want to cut yourself one last time? We gotta go.
What I'm doing, I'm trying to prove a point. So that same people that told me, man, they gonna never be no armed revolution. We can't beat them. We need to stop. So the same black people would say that when they teach about Marcus Garvey and Ida B. Wells. Those same black people. Now me and you and Shanika be saying that's great, but then you gonna find 100 more black folk doing channels talking about, man, what they teaching about that for? We don't need to be worried about no armed revolution or nothing like that in this country.
And what is their goal though, Bakari? Is their goal to be like integrationists and like if that's what you want to do, that's what they
now, wait a minute. According to them, the goal is not integration. According to them.
What's the goal? So
I would
what's
say,
the goal?
I would say different because I don't see how you can build anything black and build your own nation and build your own anything without trying to prepare a military. But these people literally said that.
Well, I mean, you can do that. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't want to, you know, but I mean, you could.
I wouldn't suggest it.
Like, but like, what historical figure like suggested something like that? Like, you know, I don't understand.
No. What I was saying was, you say you would call Marcus Garvey and Ida B. Wells, and the things they taught would be, if that was taught, that would be empowering. The only point that I'm making is, then you will find a whole lot of black folks going against you saying that's not empowering. I believe it.
But their goal would be different than ours. Their goal would be integration, like there are, because you know who the ones who saying
I'm telling you what they said their goal is. Their goal, according to them, their goal is not integration.
But
that's why
you know who the ones who saying that? The ones who mostly in HBCUs right now.
No, these people.
Why they ain't teaching it then?
No, these people.
And why they ain't teaching it then? Why they ain't teaching about the red record with Ida B. Wells? Ida B. Wells is not even like a not known person, and they don't even really teach about her, bro.
Should Ida B. Wells should be taught? Absolutely. Should Marcus Garvey be taught?
Absolutely.
Marcus Garvey should be taught. Ida B. Wells, Fannie Lou Hamer. You can go Kwame Ture. You can go on and on and on and on and talk about. There's a lot of Robert F. Williams. I always say his last name that we will shoot back. The story. Now, but this is something I heard this black professor talking about this. But this is something that was taught. He still teaches there. When I say was taught, because he still teaches there. But they teach about the role of black farmers during the civil rights. Matter of fact, that book I read about, We Will Shoot Back, That was actually a professor from an HBCU, and he said he teach that to his class. That's who wrote that book. That book, We Will Shoot Back.
Robert F. Williams.
No, Robert F. Williams is the Negroes with Guns.
Right. Oh yeah,
Which is,
yeah, right,
which
right.
is a great book, by the way. Shanique, you ever read that one?
She might be gone. We gotta go too, Bakari, man.
Oh no, I'm sorry. I didn't read that. I went to the chat and I was confused. Yeah, no.
Say
it again?
I said that's a great book, Negroes with Guns.
What's the title?
Negroes with Guns. We Will Shoot Back. There's not now a good one to change the perspective on Martin Luther King. See, when they teach Martin Luther King, they should also teach about Martin Luther King didn't believe in that nonviolent stuff in the beginning. Should get the book, This Nonviolent Stuff Will Get You Killed. They don't never teach. Don't nobody talk about that about Martin Luther
Lord
King.
have mercy. Who should teach that, Bakari? Who should be teaching that?
I say they should teach that in the school. You
What
damn right.
schools? What schools? The white schools? Oh, the white schools gonna do it, or the HBCUs you're talking about?
Them the ones that got most of our children. The white one. The white one got most of our children. But
they're not gonna teach that.
They're not gonna teach that.
No, the HBCU should teach that part of Martin Luther King.
So you sound like me and Shanique at the very beginning of the show. So you done wasted 2 hours of your whole life.
Can't get those hours back.
Right.
No, I don't sound like y'all, but that should be taught. There's a whole I told just a whole lot of stuff that I would say but
Bawana fell with you. I love Erica. I ain't gonna say Erica fell with you because me and Erica got one with you.
No, you know, but
we both fell with you.
But you know what? Because you know what? Because I can also
know the truth.
Because I can also talk about way more positive than that little bit. And you act like that little bit outweigh the positive, and it don't. And
I never said that. I never said that's what your problem is. You think that any mention of anything negative means that all positive things mean they're gone. Like, you know what I'm saying? It doesn't mean that we don't need to go to HBC. That's where y'all get tripped up at. You know what I'm saying? And that's what I mean by emotional. And that older generation that's like that older generation that used to maybe have seen it and talk about used to. In my day, it used to be this way. We used to walk 40 miles to the store in the cold and barefooted, and we have different stuff these days.
Name one thing positive you say about an HBCU.
It's time to we had a whole saga about HBCU sports, bro. Like, I know, and you know what? I would take up for you again.
Hey, I know we did. I know we did. You should have just said. I know we did a whole show talking about it. I know.
But no, because and I be boosting up Virginia Union. I be trying to go to their games and stuff like that. But that don't mean I want them to be see the white cheerleader there and we just like happy and like, they're supposed to be here. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe once we get control of stuff.
I don't think they're supposed to be there, but I think we're gonna have to go in and make the radical change.
Thank you, but you can't do that if you can't say nothing. But who you think I'm talking? Who you think I'm talking to? But how we gonna do that if you and Bawana and all of the people who died with you tonight get mad at me and Shanique?
No. But one part that y'all leave out, you ain't gonna change nothing if they ain't on economics. The HBCU is a direct reflection of the black community. You can't change nothing in this country if you ain't got the money. But since everybody talks so negative about it, 90% of black children, 90% of black families who got college students going to giving their money to the white schools. So you can't change nothing without the economics.
Yeah, but we just want them once they give them the money. We don't want them to be going to a white school in blackface. You know what I'm saying?
You can't change nothing without economics.
You can go up there and make curriculums, you can do things, but you also put the money into it. I'm not saying don't put the money into it, but you also put the effort into it. Like, you take over, like you do the physical work too. Like, not just the monetary, it's not just money, it's physical work too. You talk about the mentoring thing, you can give money to things like, and that's what I'm saying, give money to the schools, but you're still going to have to do the physical part. But you got to know what the problems is and not just be biased and get mad about HBCUs, you know what I'm saying? So y'all forgive me, you know what I'm saying? But,
Shanique, you 2 or 3 hours behind us. And I don't
long live the HBCU.
I don't want to get too caught in trolling forecast, making him stay up all night, because I'll do this all night and he'll keep arguing. And then know he got to get up. Yeah, because he do it to me. he do it to me when he comes to my town. I'm like, man, I got to get up at 2 o'clock. Wait, but let me ask you a couple more. But let me ask you a couple more questions.
But you know what, Bakari, I give you a straight answer, and I don't got to talk for 20 minutes with my answer. I'll be like, no, they can't come to the cookout. They can't teach at the HBCUs. They can't say this stuff at the HB. You like, oh well, we got to be careful. We got to walk the line, and we got to shut our mouths when we talk about the good white people, because some good white people is out there.
Forecast is 12:30. You got to get up and go to work.
Yeah, go ahead and run. Go ahead and run.
I ain't got to get up. But you know what? I'll get these long answers, and before you know it, you'll be texting me, man. I shouldn't have stayed up with your ass last night. I'm tired as hell at work.
I'm thinking that very same thing. Y'all have a wonderful night.
You too, Shanique. Tell your husband I say peace. Tell your husband I say peace.
As soon as we get home, I will. Thank you. And it was a rousing fight, Bakari. A rousing fight.
I enjoy it every time.
Bakari stuck in 1987. That's all it is.
I'm stuck in 2023.
Oh my goodness.
Thank
you again, Forecast.
All right, peace, Nick. You shouldn't be like,
all right, good night, y'all.
All right.
Peace, Forecast.
All right, peace, Bakari. Yo, Raw, I gotta give a shout out to Raw. You know what I'm saying? Raw knows the answer. Shouts out to Erica. Yo, that's my sister. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate all the support by y'all. Buwana, you know what I'm saying? He was there the whole time. He took the L with Bakari tonight. You know, they went down swinging. Shouts out to my brother Everett Watson. You know what I'm saying? Definitely hop on next time. Everybody that came through. So I appreciate y'all. I shouldn't have made it a long show. I'm sorry. I'm gonna start trying to make it shorter. But I appreciate it. And you know, y'all listen to the very beginning if there's something, you know, I was saying, so I ain't feel like saying it now. But as always, man, we have got to start standing for something, or we're gonna keep falling for anything.